that county government vehicles have all been used for personal effects to the political elites and upcoming staff of counties, courtesy of branding those vehicles. The petitioner claimed that efforts made to address this matter to the Council of Governors, Attorney General were futile, since there was no response. The petitioner prayer was that the Senate to amend the County Government Act 2012 to insert a clause to permanently restrain the governors and members of the county assemblies from branding their respective portraits, images, or names of the public-funded projects of the counties, as it was done to our currency, and is allowing portraits of individuals. B, ensure that all public-funded projects are branded as courtesy of taxpayers of Kenya. C, comes up with regulations or amendment to any law in the existence to make sure that all county government vehicles are branded with colors of our national flag to make them easily identifiable. And if the public see them being used for non-governmental activities, they can occupy them peacefully. D, performs any other cause that it deems fit in its own wisdom on the project. Honourable Speaker, the committee proceeded to consider the matter, and the committee further resolved that to invite the petitioner Laban for further discussions on the issues raised. Upon invitation, the petitioner appeared before the committee on November 2024 to present the petition. He emphasized the primary objective is to protect the public funds from being misused for the personalization and branding of public projects with individual names or identities. He appealed to the Senate to intervene and establish measures to curb such acts and to safeguard public resources. The committee concurred with the petitioner on the need to restrict the branding of public projects and government vehicles with individual names and images, affirming that such practice amounts to personalization of public resources and contrary to principles of integrity as outlined in the Constitution and relevant laws. Honourable Speaker, based on the submission received from the stakeholders, the committee made various observations and recommended as set out in the report. The committee...
What is the point of order, Senator Kenyo?
Mr. Speaker, I am hearing a speech from the senator, and I thought he was moving, and he's reading what I'm standing at Standing Order 95.
Senator Abbas, just proceed.
What have you had? Honourable Speaker, the committee observed that branding public projects and vehicles with the individual names or images translates to personalization, to the display of information on projects and buildings guided by the Fiscal and Land Use Planning Act Cap 303 of the Constitution, the Urban Areas and Cities Act Cap number 257, the Occupational Safety and Health Act Cap 236A, and its Public Health Safety Regulation, the National Construction and Authority Act Cap 118, it is Building Code. Additionally, the Site Board Guide, guided by National Construction Authority, explicitly highlights the required details to be displayed on projects. 3. Using public funds to brand projects and vehicles with the names of images, public officers amounts to misuse of public resources and goes against the principles of transparency and prudent financial management. Honourable Speaker, the committee recommends that public officers, including governors, members of county assemblies, and officials at both national and county levels, should strictly adhere to laws guiding the conduct of public officers, including the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Public Service Values and Principles Act 2012, the Public Officers Ethics Act, CAP 183, and the Leadership and Integrity Act, CAP 18C. 2, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption, in collaboration with the Office of the Attorney General and the Control of Budget, should enforce the strict compliance with the constitutional and statutory professions, governing integrity, accountability, proper use of public resources. 3, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption should, within 30 days upon tabling of this report, provide a report to the Senate on the status of the intervention and measures that are taken to restrain public officers branding public project vehicles or assets with their names, images, and personal symbols. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I wish to move the motion and request that the House adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution, Intergovernmental Relations on the petition regarding branding of public projects with images of governors and MCS branding county vehicles. And I beg to request Senator Shisang to second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also beg to second this particular motion. This is a very important motion that has arisen as a result of a petition. A petitioner, Honorable Speaker, if you go across our counties, you will see everywhere photos for governors, photos for MCS being branded across, saying what they have done for the people, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is important to tell the governors and the MCS that when projects are undertaken within the areas, they are being undertaken as a result of the resources that they have been appropriated by this House. Honorable Speaker, we were fighting for 465 billion to go to the counties. Eventually, during the mediation committee between the National Assembly and Senate, we settled at 415 billion, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, the resources that are going to the counties, they are not from the pockets of the governors or the MCAs. These are resources that have been appropriated by both Senate and National Assembly, and also on-source revenue by the counties, Honorable Speaker. There is the governors and the MCAs, even members of National Assembly. You might even see some vehicles, some buses, Honorable Speaker, also branded with names of members of National Assembly that, funded by national government, CDF. The patron is Honorable so-and-so. For 10 years, when I was there before Marakwet West, I bought 10 passes. And in those 10 passes, my name is nowhere printed on the buses, Honorable Speaker. Even the projects that we undertook using CDF for 10 years, my name was nowhere. The only thing that I could do where my name would appear is when I go to open. Yeah, it's true. Just go to Marakwet West. Go to Marakwet West. That's true. So, Honorable Speaker, it is important that we tell them these are resources that have been appropriated. They are public resources. If they want to put the names, they can remove from their own salaries or become philanthropic and use maybe resources from elsewhere so that they can put the names. Otherwise, the people know if you've been a governor for, say, the last 10 years, and the projects that have been undertaken, you can go and open them, launch them, and put your names, not your photos. There are many projects that have been done by national government. We have never seen anywhere the photo for the president.
What is the point of order, Senator Fomeru?
Honorable Speaker, the transition between the chair, Senator Abbas, and the second of the motion, I don't know how we got the floor, because if I remember, I can reconnect. I did not hear the chair say, but Honorable Speaker, you did not authorize. No, he just got the mic through some other means. But go back to the answer, and Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Senator Fomeru, while you're consulting with the chair, while you were consulting with me, Senator Abbas requested Senator Kisang to second. And because I couldn't speak while you're talking to me, I had to nod. I nodded, give him permission for him to proceed. So conclude, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker is a good friend of mine and my colleague. We were in National Assembly for 10 years. I know there are issues that came to the House sometimes last year and I did not support him, so maybe he still has some issue with me because of Kawira issues. I was on opposite side. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, it is just important to tell our governors, please stick to the law. These resources are not yours. You should not use additional resources to brand by putting your photos, by putting your names there to say funded by. Basically, these are public resources, period. So, Honorable Speaker, I beg to second.
So, Honorable Senators, I will defer the proposing of the question so that we dispense with order number 9, which we had gone halfway yesterday. So before I allow this clerk to call order number 9, allow me to make this communication. Honorable Senators, would like to acknowledge the presence in public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from Othaya Girls High School in Nyeri County. The delegation comprises 5 teachers and 240 students who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors from Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Majority Leader and 1 minute to extend a word of welcome.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Senate and particularly on behalf of the Senator for Nyeri, Commissioner Matinga, I wish to welcome these students who are here on a study visit, Mr. Speaker. In the afternoon, I believe they have observed, asked and sacked 1 or 2 businesses so far, and they have learned that which brought them here. These are our future leaders, Mr. Speaker, and I believe that in this moment, before the present leadership will serve as an inspiration to know that their time is coming and therefore they should prepare very well when they finally get the opportunity to serve this country. I wish them well as they travel back to Nyeri, Mr. Speaker, and wish them well in their studies as well. I thank you.
Clerk, kindly call order number 9.
Order number 9, Committee of the Whole, the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023, consideration of His Excellency the President's recommendations, resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 9th July 2025, afternoon sitting.
Senator for Kakamega, welcome to the Senate.
Honourable members, we want to commence the Committee of Whole, which is sitting in consideration of the President's Memoranda on the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly's Bill number 12 of 2023. Honourable Senators, please resume your seats and maintain silence so we can proceed on with the Committee of Whole. Senator Chute, you cannot be holding a meeting in Senate. Senator Chute, you cannot be holding a meeting when the Committee of Whole is happening. Can you resume your seat? Senator Eddy, please resume your seat. Yesterday, these considerations were made by Senate, but due to quorum matters, Senate was adjourned, so we are resuming from clause number 16, and I want to let the clerk call it.
President's recommendation on clause 16.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation on clause 16 be approved. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee, please take the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. The recommendation under this particular clause, Madam Chair, in the original bill and in the reservation was to include from among those prohibited relatives of the public officer against receiving of gifts or favors from any person who would be trading or transacting with the authority or the entity in issue. And Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, the committee observed that the impact of this proposal is to expand the scope of those who are prohibited from receiving those gifts to include members and relatives of public officers. And I wish that we take it as provided for in the order paper. I thank you, Madam Chair.
I put the question that the President's recommendation on clause 16 be approved, division at the end. Next.
President's recommendation on clause 17.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation on clause 17 be approved. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The particular reservation on this clause was to ensure that the provision includes a provision on maintenance of a gift register by an entity and further an inclusion of a donation register. Madam Chair, the effect of this is to ensure that the entity relevant, in this case the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, is able to track the donations that an institution receives from the public or a public officer receives and discloses them to the institution. And this would mean that the extension of such disclosed gifts or donations are utilized for public use. This also will ensure that we enhance the fight against corruption. The committee did note that the effect of this reservation is to ensure that the fight against corruption is extended to the utilization of resources coming from public donations or gifts that public officers have disclosed to their institution. I thank you, Madam Chair.
I have seen some senators want to comment on this specific clause. Senator Chiradike, are you interested? It's the next one. Senator Mohamed Faki is not here, so we can proceed.
With the question.
I put the question that the President's recommendation on clause 17 be approved, division at the end.
President's recommendation on clause 18.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation on clause 18 be approved. Chairperson Jaylak.
Madam Chair, the effect of the proposed reservation is to ensure that the amendment expands the scope of the prohibition, similar to the one that we've just dealt with, but in this case, with regards to complementary treatment, to include members of family of public officers, and also their relatives who are covered in the provisions of the law that is being proposed. And this will ensure that a public officer may not knowingly or unknowingly benefit even from complementary treatments that he or members of his family have achieved courtesy of the office that such a person holds. Madam Chair, I propose that we progress with it as it's been provided for in the order paper. And I thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Senator Cheralige, do you have a comment on this specific clause as proposed by the Chair? You can proceed. And you limit your comments to 3 minutes. So that
Chair, well guided. Chairperson, I'm surprised because the report of...
resume your seat, please.
Yes. Just sit here. Don't go far. Chair, with all due respect, I have the committee report. So I don't know what the Chair wants to tell us, because in their own report, they didn't concur with this provision, which you are a member of Jailer. Chair, in my observation on this one, clause number 18, the definition of family is too vague and broad. Because in terms of complementary, no, Chair, can you protect me?
Majority Leader, can you allow why is the Senator to proceed?
Restless, Chair, what I wanted to say is very simple. Chair, I'm saying something different. It is complementary. We were in clause 18. Chair, what we are saying... No, Chair, they are lying.
Have you used a language that is different from the parliamentary language?
No, Chair, I didn't abuse you.
You have to withdraw. Can you withdraw the use of Kalenjin language?
Chair, I withdraw and apologize, but I did not abuse you. Okay, he is making it sensational. Chair, can you protect me?
Clarification, you
can
you
proceed. Protect me?
But don't repeat yourself from what you said yesterday.
Chair, I'm not repeating, Chair. The issue of clause number 18 on the issue of complementary is we agree that this was too vague and broad. Even if you look at the report of the committee. Chair,
there is a point of clarification from the Chair, who has just read out explanation.
I had listened to the Chair.
Just take your seat.
Is it point of order or point of clarification?
It's a point of clarification, okay. So let him proceed. Chair, proceed.
Madam Chair, just wanted to clarify to my colleague, Senator Chirarge, that clause 2, which we dealt with yesterday, made reference to this particular definition of what family or relative is, and we dealt with that issue to the extent that clause 18 makes reference to that. I did submit and directed that we go as per the report that has already been placed in the order paper. There is nothing outside this report that I've said. And that clause 2 was dealt with yesterday on the definition that the committee, the position that the committee took. Thank you.
Can you, Senator Cheralige, please be guided accordingly so that you have the understanding that the report stands as it is.
Chair, that is why.
Give him the mic, please.
Chair, in 30 seconds, then I request the Chair, so that we don't need to seek further clarification, to indicate, because when he reads, he says as per the order paper or as per the committee's report, so that there is that clarity. But the position of the committee, I agree. So let him be clear, say as per the committee reports, or as Chair, I'm speaking with a lot of experience in this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Chair Jaylak, I think you have been enriched on how to make your presentations. When you have the order paper and a report, can you distinguish each document you're referring to? We can then proceed on. I put the question that the President's recommendation on clause 18 be approved, division at the end. Next.
President's recommendation on clause 20.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation on Clause 20 be approved. Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee, Senator.
Thank you,
Sige.
Madam Chair. The effect of clause number 20, Madam Chair, is that the recommendation seeks to prohibit members of the public officers from acquiring interest in partnership, private companies, or any other legal entity that is a party to a contract with the reporting entity. And the committee, in its observation, noted that this proposal widens the clause to prohibit public officers from acquiring interest in companies contracting with the reporting entity. And this will be because of ensuring that we support and enhance the fight against corruption. And the company that they are prohibited from acquiring interest is not only their own, other companies that in any way could be dealing with the entity that is relevant in the circumstances. And Madam Chair, I wish to ask that we go as per the report of the committee that was tabled on the 12th of June 2025. Thank you.
I put the question that the President's recommendation on Clause 20 be approved. Division at the end. Next.
President's recommendation on Clause 30.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation on Clause 30 be approved. Chairperson Jaylak, please.
Thank you,
proceed.
Madam Chair. The proposal under Clause 30 is to require a public officer to recuse themselves from any discussion, decision, or debate or a vote on a subject matter in respect of which such public officer would be conflicted in the end. And the committee observed and concurred with the reservation, emphasizing the importance of aligning Clause 11 and Clause 30 to ensure consistency in the legislation, interpretation, and application, where a member is required to recuse themselves from being involved in such debate, discussion, or voting. Madam Chair, I propose that we go as per the report of the committee under Clause 30. Thank you.
I put the question that the President's recommendation on Clause 30 be approved. Division at the end. Next.
President's recommendation on Clause 31.
I propose the question that President's recommendation on Clause 31 be approved. Chairperson Jaylak.
Madam Chair, this was quite a straightforward reservation that required that under Clause 31(4), the definition of the term material change in the context of assets, property, or any other aspect that is being dealt with be disclosed in the event of such a material change. And the committee agreed with the reservation and approved, or rather concurred, with the proposal in the President's memorandum. Thank you.
I put the question that the President's recommendation on Clause 31 be approved. Division at the end. Next.
President's recommendation on Clause 35.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation on Clause 35 be approved. Chairperson Jaylak, proceed.
Madam Chair, this is also a straightforward, clear reservation that required to embolden the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to ensure that in their reporting there is ascertainment of completeness and correctness of declarations of assets by members of the by public officers, and this clause was to ensure the completeness of that particular record for purposes of reporting, and it proposed to ensure that the word completeness and correctness be included in the text of Clause 35. This, the committee, Madam Chair, concurred with the reservation and approved that inclusion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I put the question that the President's recommendation on Clause 35 be approved. Division at the end. That's the end of the considerations that were before the Committee of the Whole. And now we'll proceed on to reporting the progress. I now call upon the mover to proceed and report on the progress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg to move that, pursuant to Standing Order 153, I beg to move that the Committee of the Whole do report to the Senate its consideration of the President's Memoranda on the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
I put the question that the Committee of the Whole do report to the Senate the consideration of the President's Memorandum on the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable Senators, Mr. Speaker.
Very good. Very good.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Did you notice, Senator Eddie Okech, that when you were taking the reins of the House, he was actually seated, and even when you're buying, Mr. Speaker, is that really in order?
Can you stand up and sit again? Stand and sit.
And bow to the speaker.
That's good.
Very good.
Honorable Senators, we are reporting progress on the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023. Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the President's Memoranda on the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023, and seeks leave to sit again tomorrow.
Mover.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, and I request the Honorable Senator Eddie Okech to second.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Chair, I second.
Okay. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the same report. I put the question that the House do agree in the committee in the same report. As many as of the similar opinion say aye. Aye. As those of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. Honorable Senators, we are reverting back to order number 12. The motion was moved by Senator Baz and seconded by Senator Kisang. So now I want to propose the question. Just a minute, Senator Kavindu, have your seat. You under Senator Kavindu. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Anderson Majority Leader. Majority Leader and Senator Kavindu. Why are you making noise when the chair is upstanding, honestly speaking? Honorable Senators, I propose the question. Anyone interrupting the chair? The Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Raban Omusudi concerning the branding of public projects with images of governors and members of the county assemblies, MCAs, and branding of county vehicles deemed on the tip of the Senate on Tuesday, 3rd June 2025. Yes, there are several senators willing to make their contributions. We start with the Senator Cheruyo Talon.
This is a very important petition, Mr. Speaker, which I want to commend the committee for at least taking time to listen and to engage this Mr. Laban. It's called Laban who? Omusundi. This gentleman, Mr. Speaker, has brought about
What is your point of order,
Senator
Kavidu?
Mr. Speaker, is that we have no quorum in the House.
So you are standing
order
under
41.
Standing order.
Standing order number 41.
Can you?
We have no quorum in the House.
Confirm, clerk,
to
whether we have
deliberate.
quorum? Sorry?
We don't have quorum. You may call for the bell. You may order the bell to be rung for 10 minutes.
Sergeant Adams, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
Ambia watu warudi. Ambia watu. Nani ana run away? Niko hapa na wewe mpaka
We have the quorum bell on ring mode after the Senator for Machakos County, Senator Agnes Kavindu, stood on a point of order and raised the concern that the House lacks quorum to proceed with business at this particular juncture. So we have the Speaker directing the quorum bell be rung before the House proceeds on its consideration of the report of the Committee on Devolution that was handling a petition on the branding of public projects with images of governors, members of the county assemblies, and branding of county vehicles. We await to see whether the House will have quorum to continue with the consideration of this business currently on the floor of the House. The committee, after having looked at the petition by Mr. Laban Omosundi, who petitioned the Senate, on this matter. Actually, yes, it is Laban Omosundi who petitioned the House. The Senate Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations looked into that petition. There were a number of observations by the committee, and I'll just take you through some of them. Is that the committee observed that branding of public projects and vehicles with individuals' names or images translates to personalization of public resources, and hence creating an impression of individual ownership. The committee notes in its report that such practices by governors, members of the county assemblies, as well as any other members holding public offices is unethical. Allow me to take you back to the chamber yet again.
Mr. Speaker, I see there are students who are in the House. This is part of our work also. So I was saying, Mr. Speaker, that this Laban Omosundi reminds me of another gentleman. There was a gentleman, I don't seem to recall his name. I think he was called Major Rope, actually. Thank you, Innocent, for reminding me. In the first Senate, almost every week, he will petition this House on something of national importance and tell us that as per the dictates of the Constitution, members of the public are allowed to petition Parliament and be asked and reminded that as members of the public, you can request the House and say, please consider such and such a matter, so that, Mr. Speaker, you can guide the country. This is an issue that so many people have complained about. I have seen citizens take pictures of waivers by county governments, projects that have been done, and you find a huge imposing picture of either the local MCA or the governor, the member of parliament, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't think there was any such consideration by citizens of this republic when they passed the new constitution that we as public servants will take over ownership of projects that we have done using taxpayers' money. If there is to be any picture that is imposed on a project, Mr. Speaker, then it is a picture of the citizens who are paid for that particular project. Mr. Speaker, I like the fact that this committee in recommendation 2 has actually asked the right body, the EACC, because this is an issue of ethics. You know, ethics, Mr. Speaker, is a very wide subject. The EACC, in collaboration with the Office of the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget, Mr. Speaker, have been asked actually to enforce compliance with the constitutional and statutory provisions governing integrity and accountability and the proper use of public resources, Mr. Speaker. This is abuse of public resources, and I believe people like Senator Catherine Muma, who are normally very consistent on issues of abuse, either of human rights or public resources, will have something to say about this and what they think about it every other time. In this report, we are being told, Mr. Speaker, in recommendation 3, that after the passage of this motion, EACC will have 30 days to bring a report to the House informing us of what efforts they have put in place to ensure that there is compliance with this provision, Mr. Speaker. I want to believe that the CEO of EACC, Mr. Speaker, will actually issue this decree in public for people to know that this is abuse of public funds and this is an ethics issue which any public officer is found to violate these provisions, Mr. Speaker, deserves to be punished by law. This Laban Omusundi has actually pricked the conscience of a nation by reminding us that the beauty of our constitution is as such that as citizens, we can always remind each other when we find ourselves to be afoul of the law. And he has reminded us as a house that we cannot allow this to continue. That is why, Mr. Speaker, I love the Senate. On a choice between Senate and so many other public offices, Mr. Speaker, I'll still choose to be in this house so long as the people that I represent in this house can allow me. Why, Mr. Speaker? Because in this house, we legislate, we oversight, and we represent. That is the duty of a member of parliament, Mr. Speaker. Can you imagine, Mr. Speaker, if this petition had found its way into a county assembly, for example? There's no way they'd agree to, because they themselves are the abusers, actually, of these provisions. Many members of a county assembly, if you drive around Nairobi, in your counties, Mr. Speaker, you'll find a big billboard declaring that this project has been done by the MCA in collaboration with the governor or the member of parliament. The reference that Senator Kisang gave about school buses. In fact, I've seen a more absurd one. There's a school from Western Kenya, and Senator Bodi Alwale is not here, that I saw, that had the picture actually of the MP behind, in the rear screen of the bus, Mr. Speaker. And it was written that the patron is Senator Chute or Aaron Cheruyot or something. I don't think that is expected, Mr. Speaker. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, that upon the passage of this report, it will be remembered in history that there used to be an abuse of public funds, Mr. Speaker, until Senate put a stop to it. This is a very important report. I congratulate you, Senator Abbas, together with all the members that serve with you in Devolution Committee. This is what parliaments should be doing, responding to the concerns of citizens and ensuring that we oversight. This is now oversight at its best, ensuring that you see where the violations of law, Mr. Speaker, and pushing for enforcement. I want to challenge this particular committee, Mr. Speaker, because I saw that they interviewed almost all the parties that are involved in this petition. They invited Laban, they listened to him, they had petitions from other citizens, Mr. Speaker, that upon the passage of this motion today, it's my hope, Mr. Speaker, that after members have contributed today, we will actually put this motion to a vote. And it is my hope that members can stay around and speak to this particular motion so that we vote on it today. And we begin counting 30 days from now. Senator Abbas, I expect that your committee, next week actually in your first order of business, you will fire a letter to the EACC, confirm that you have written to them and have reminded them that they are sleeping on their job, that they need to remind us to be ethical public servants. They need to remind us where there are violations of the provisions of our Constitution and where there is abuse of office and misuse of public resources, Mr. Speaker, because that is what it is. There is no other better way to call this particular issue. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I congratulate this committee. I hope that they take the time to ensure that this is done. And Senator Abbas or any member of this committee, in 30 days after today, you will rise on a point of order one day to remind us that EACC has actually published a notice in prominent display, both in electronic and print media, that this habit needs to stop. And if there are those that are emboldened or written by stone or whatever, they need to be scrapped off, Mr. Speaker, so that citizens appreciate that this is public funds that has been used. The only project that will be allowed to bear the name of a prominent person, you run your NGO, you run your public, your private initiative, Mr. Speaker, use your own funds to do something for the public. I believe even the public themselves will actually name it after you and have your picture prominently enlisted. But so long as you're using public funds, Mr. Speaker, it should never be allowed. With those very many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support and thank the members of the Devolution Committee for a stellar performance. Congratulations, Senator Abbas and the team that considered this petition. I thank you.
Next is Senator Agnes Kavidu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this petition that was the Committee for Devolution has brought. Mr. Speaker, it is very true. This person, Laban Omusundi, has watched properly what is happening in our counties. You go, Mr. Speaker, in almost everywhere in our counties and you find branding of the public projects with the pictures of the governors, pictures of MCS and even members of our parliament. And you find that even projects that have been done by the members of parliament, you find governors also branding the same project. So you wonder who has done the project and who has not done the project. So, Mr. Speaker, this should be brought to stop because this is a wastage of public funds, and they should be used, this money should be used to do, development for the counties. So, Mr. Speaker, I recommend the Committee of Devolution for this, and I also congratulate Mr. Laban Omusundi wherever he is, and action should be taken, and all those branding images brought down and be used for useful use in the counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I congratulate the Committee of Devolution.
Senator Chelagai Samson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I rise to support Mr. Speaker, I'm very happy today because as I report this motion, Mr. Speaker, because we are talking about devolution, I'm happy because Nanti today we have become 28 Catholic dioceses having been appointed. We are now a diocese called Kapsabet Catholic Diocese, and I thank Pope Leo the 14th and the Apostolic Nuncio, His Excellency Megan, and also the Auxiliary Bishop John Kiplimo Lele, who has been appointed as the new Bishop of Kapsabet Catholic Diocese. We are proud, and this is momentous occasion. And I hope Senator Sifuna will attend our inauguration on 30th August 2025, and I'll personally invite you to attend. So, Speaker, secondly, all this money, this branding, whenever I drive around Nairobi, and I have seen this thing is predominant in counties, there is the image of the governor and the MCA. And funny thing, the person who is the governor now was a senator and was castigating the former. What am I trying to say, Speaker? The behavior of kings, people who build cult personality, people who build on hero worship, start by ensuring their images are being put into public projects, Mr. Speaker. I know you have been a member of National Assembly for some time. I was driving sometimes back in this city, and one of the buses which had been acquired through CDF had a big image of the MP as the patron, including the name, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you go to roads, the same thing. So my question is, Mr. Speaker, is why are we having most of these, Mr. Speaker, most of these government projects? Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that Omusundi is saying, in fact, this project, we should brand it, that it is done by taxpayers' money, Kenyans' money. This culture of leaders using their own images, their own portraits, is unfortunate, it is immoral, it is uncultural, it is illegal, and that is violation of Chapter 6 on leadership and integrity, Mr. Speaker. So I want to say the amendment proposal by the Devolution Committee that we need to amend the County Governments Act is long overdue, Mr. Speaker. And we need to rise up to the occasion. We have done before, Mr. Speaker. And we agree that every leader in this country is struggling for feasibility. But you don't need to use the resources of the people to get what we call unnecessary feasibility. Yet the resources you are doing is the taxpayers' money, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, in this aspect, we need to call upon that the MCAs, the governors, members of parliament, Mr. Speaker, let us Mr. Speaker, the only time I have not seen some of these people putting their images is only on coffins. But they have put even the farewell homes, Mr. Speaker, which is very unfortunate. We must call out, and I agree that this issue of branding of images, in fact, you should have included members of parliament, Mr. Speaker. And when you look at Article 231(4) of the Constitution 2010 of the Republic of Kenya, one of the things that we said, including issues of money, that we don't want to bear any image of anybody in our currency, Mr. Speaker. And I know the youth leader, Senator Oburu Odinga, was among the people who sat during the constitutional review process in this country, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I agree largely with the recommendations of the committee. We need to ensure, Mr. Speaker, once and for all. Even another issue, Mr. Speaker, because I just wanted to be brief, Mr. Speaker, long enough to cover the essentials, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I'm just saying is, I have seen even government vehicles, GOK. Why is it that when somebody has a GOK vehicle, you change into civilian number plates, Mr. Speaker? How will you use for the signing out the issue of even traffic enforcement laws, Mr. Speaker? Even here in Parliament, we should also be disciplined as leaders, Mr. Speaker. If you are having a government property, including the house, don't convert a government house into your house. If you are driving a government vehicle, and I know a number of our colleagues are using government vehicles, even then 029, Mr. Speaker. Not 029, but the county government's vehicles. I'm happy the former CCM under my good friend Sibriya Mawiti was there. Let us use the numbers, if it is a county government vehicle, if it is a government of Kenya vehicle, Mr. Speaker, use the numbers that you have been assigned officially, Mr. Speaker. Unless there is something you are hiding. And we are aware there are people who are using government vehicles and property to misuse, including staplers in government offices, including government printers. The indiscipline in this country, Mr. Speaker, is so much that when, you know, Mr. Speaker, there is an attitude called utadu. I don't know where this attitude came. If it is a government property, you don't care. And that is why you saw people even banning a police station, banning law courts, Mr. Speaker, banning police vehicles, attacking police officers. It's because we have so much bad manners in this country, an attitude that utadu, because you don't feel responsible. If all of us were responsible for government property, we will not be doing what we are doing, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, it boils to the values of the nation. And we must go back to Article number 10 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, on national governance and principles of good governance and national values, Mr. Speaker. If you see people, Mr. Speaker, rising up and destroying a government property and defacing a government property, then we no longer have that responsibility. Mr. Speaker, finally on the recommendations. And those people, Mr. Speaker, if you threaten a government security installation, including parliament, including police station, including other, Mr. Speaker, I agree that those are what we call domestic terrorists, and they must be dealt with the law as terror, local terror, Mr. Speaker, and under anti-terrorism unit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the recommendation, on the EACC Office of the Auditor General and Controller of Budget report in 30 days, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm a bit jittery about EACC. Because, for example, in Nandi County, Mr. Speaker, there was the scandal of employment scandal, where it was found that there were so many ghost workers. The EACC came with rats matters, Mr. Speaker, to the county government of Nandi offices. Up to today, they have not even arrested a rat. So I don't know, EACC. And the last time, Mr. Speaker, I remember, and I hope the chair is still there, that when we invited EACC in the last session, the only highest conviction they had achieved at that time was a bribe of 20,000 shillings. We need to call upon the EACC to put their act together. If they have a problem with the resources, they should approach Parliament for more appropriation of resources so that we can fight the corruption in this country, Mr. Speaker. And that is why when I see young people who are agitating for good governance, EACC must be held accountable, Mr. Speaker, even from the county level. Most of these, Mr. Speaker, governors are becoming billionaires overnight. They are becoming demigods, Mr. Speaker. They are acquiring property in a satanic version, Mr. Speaker. Yet I'm told they are at, Mr. Speaker, they are converting and getting these allegations of corruption within that is being, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, the issue of EACC, we must agree. And I want to submit in a suamoto manner, Mr. Speaker, suamoto manner to the chairperson of JLAC, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the Committee of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights. In a suamoto manner, after this tabling, they should bring us the status of the fight against corruption in counties, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate in this country, Mr. Speaker. For example, in Nandi, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, in the financial statements of 2024-2025, the county government of Nandi hired car hire services for 42 million, Mr. Speaker. But is that the prudent use of the resources?
Point of order from Senator Zena. What is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, on a statement of facts, is it in order for Senator Cherargei to allege that the only success the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has ever achieved was following up on a bribe of 20 million Kenya shillings? 20,000 Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, we are well aware of the successes that the Commission has made, especially on arresting several governors charged with corruption. Can he withdraw and apologize?
I'll assume your seat as you listen to the point of order. Okay, proceed, proceed. Go ahead. You have heard what Senator Zen has requested you to do.
Mr. Speaker, the answer can bear me witness. I said in the last session when I was the chair jailer, one of the success stories that was stable, and it is in this house, was a 20,000 bribe. Mr. Speaker, you know corruption is fighting hard, and if you want to be a gatekeeper of some of these institutions, you should know how to approach the game. We are experienced. Approach us so that we teach you. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, and that is why I was concluding by saying, Mr. Speaker, on these 42 million car hire services, there is no justification. We must, Mr. Speaker, in Nandi.
Senator Zena, is that correct? How Senator Sigei has responded?
It is not correct, Mr. Speaker, because he cannot allege that we are gatekeeping for these commissions. I have had the privilege to work with EACC, and we know very well that this is a country ruled by law. And we know, I have the privilege of information that EACC has done so much to follow up on the cases of corruption in this country. He is well aware, since he is very famous in this country, he knows that equally the same media has broadcasted on issues of corruption, and some of these governors have even come before this house. You cannot reduce the efforts of a whole commission to one instance of a case of 20,000 shillings in your committee. We must give credit where it's due, and we must give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
Senator Chelagay, just conclude because...
I think for whatever it was, or it is worth, I just leave it there. So, Speaker, that is why I was concluding. For example, I was saying, for example, in Nandi, how do you have a government vehicle that hire services for 42 million, Mr. Speaker? It is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, EACC also must be prudent because it is called anti-corruption ethics and anti-corruption. So the issue of even prevention of corruption must be on the top line. And that is why the EACC Act. So I hope in 30 days, we should be given the inventory of the governors and the MCS who are putting their images. Mr. Speaker, the only time somebody should be allowed to put their images is you can put it in your house when you're having a wedding, baby shower, you get a new kid, or in your eulogy. But to put in a government property is very, and even your personal album, Mr. Speaker, or when you are sending somebody you like in WhatsApp, or you are using any other form, Mr. Speaker. So we must agree with these committee reports that let us agree in 30 days, and I hope the majority leader, you know, we don't have implementation committee. I don't know. And I know our standing orders, I heard majority leader saying this. At least at some point, Mr. Speaker, the chairperson of devolution will stand up and tell us this is the report that the DACC has given us, and I don't know if we can recommend for further tabling of the report. Mr. Speaker, for the interest of my colleagues also to have the bite to this cherry, Allow me to raise my submissions, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very much, and I support this motion.
Senator Sifuna.
You know, Honorable Speaker, I have heard the majority leader speak, and I've heard Senator Cherargei speak without any interruption. I want to call on your protection early on because of the things that I want to say. I would prefer that I be heard in silence, Honorable Speaker. Number one, I want to tell the Senator for Nandi that there is nothing like government property. Everything that the government owns is owned by the taxpayer. It's our money. It is ours to do with as we please. So nobody will lecture us about how to misuse our property. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, when we talk about taxpayer money, it is not just the money that goes to the county governments that is taxpayer money. Even the national government money is taxpayer money. It broke my heart, Honorable Speaker, just a few days to see a whole doctor posting on Twitter that after all the noise they made out here, Honorable Speaker, when they were coming here, when they were on strike saying the Senate should do something because health is devolved. After all the push we gave as a house to the medical doctors to push the National Assembly to allocate money to them in the current budget, a whole doctor goes on Twitter and says, "Thank you, President Ruto, for giving us money." That's not his money. That is public money. Honorable Speaker, that is public money. Number two, Honorable Speaker, as a taxpayer in this country, there are very few things that make me happy because we have serious problems with the way that this government utilizes our property. Honorable Speaker, the only time when you drive around this country and you see a road sign that says road maintenance levy, your taxes have been used to improve this road. That's the only time that I feel proud to be a taxpayer in this country. But all these other times, when you talk about people putting their photos everywhere, I have seen governors, whenever there is a tax waiver, his photo is bigger than the message that is in the newspaper. I have seen governors buying billboards. The face occupies 3/4 of the billboard. The message is so small, the rest of the billboard is his face. Honorable Speaker, even this week, I have seen a governor who is my friend, and I have to say this because I want him to succeed. He has bought time on Citizen TV, prime time. I was watching the news at night, and I see a governor advertising a project that is funded by the county government, and he's saying that this project has been funded by so-and-so. I was very shocked. Where do you get the money, Honorable Speaker? I don't want to be informed.
Sifuna, do you want to be informed?
I don't want to be informed. I'm in the middle of teaching. I'm in the middle of a lecture. Honorable Speaker, so I was very shocked. You all have TVs, you can pay subscription, you will see the governor. So, Honorable Speaker, I ask that you protect me. When I began this submission, so Honorable Speaker, I asked that you protect me because I knew this would happen. Honorable Speaker, we have seen images of governors.
What is your point of order, Senator Chelge? Under which standing order are you raising the point?
Speaker, I stand under standing order 101 on contents of speech. When Senator Sifuna says he's teaching us, is it part of the rules of debate, Mr. Speaker? Are there children that he's teaching here? All of us are distinguished senators, and that governor, by the way, Mr. Speaker, is Governor George Natembea. That is why he's fearing to say.
Maybe he's teaching citizens of Kenya.
In fact, Honorable Speaker, if you look upstairs, you will see there are children there. Yeah, so allow me to teach. And when I'm standing here, I am not just speaking to this House, Honorable Speaker, I'm speaking to the country. So, Honorable Speaker, I have seen images of governors on something as mundane as milk packets for school milk, even on meals, Honorable Speaker. So that you want to tell us that this is Sifuna is doing. I have seen my colleagues in the National Assembly, Honorable Speaker, every single national government CDF funded project, they have to find a way to put their names on it. Even after the courts ruled that this thing is unconstitutional, they changed now. They say, oh, this is financial year 2022-2023, patron. Then they write Edwin Sifuna, patron. Honorable Speaker, this Mr. Musudi has identified a proper problem in this country. And we want to be able to say that every single coin that is utilized by national and county governments is actually our money. That's our property. Honorable Speaker, I've seen these patrons disbursing bursary checks, and they want to greet the parent and look them in the eye and ask them, who is the person who gave you this check? Then they say it is Sifuna. Then they say, remember me in 2027. Mr. Speaker, you would think that that money is their money. And one of the things I don't understand, these members of the National Assembly make the dishing out of checks to appear like something that is so appointed. Like a clerical job, who cannot dish out, who cannot, if your office wrote checks, how difficult is it to distribute checks? It's a physical transaction. So they come and make noise here and tell us all about how children will not go to school. Honorable Speaker, and that check has 2,500 shillings on it. There are people here who are educating children and they don't even announce it. Honorable Speaker, they should come to our offices so that we tell them, all those children that I have paid school fees for, even if you see a single one of them with a picture of Sifuna, you should ask me. They go there and they say, this is the so-and-so who did it for me. But you don't see me presenting checks here in Nairobi saying, oh, Sifuna is issuing bursaries today. That is not your money. Can you show us photos of you issuing your own money so that you leave this public money aside, Honorable Speaker? Then, Honorable Speaker, the majority leader even wanted us to extend this thing to Plex. There was a young man who was going around this country called Morara, auditing national projects. The country is led by Plex, written, oh, this project was commissioned by William Ruto on this particular day, on this particular day. Those are the other Plex that we need to go for, because that is not Ruto's money. He should also remove his name on those Plex. Honorable Speaker, it is the truth. The majority leader told us we need to extend it to Plex. I can show you those Plex.
Senator Sifuna, there is a point of order again from Senator Chalge.
Mr. Speaker, I rise again understanding 101 on contents of speech, Mr. Speaker. This obsession by Senator Sifuna or President William Ruto must stop. If he wants to discuss the president, he should bring a substantive motion. Then we can handle at that point. He should stop this obsession, Mr. Speaker. Please, protect, because the president is not here to defend himself. Because when you are making such assertion against anyone, they have a right to be here to defend themselves. But since he's not here, he should just stop dragging. You know, majority leader can defend himself because he's here, Mr. Speaker. Can the honorable senator withdraw and apologize or substantiate, Mr. Speaker? Because when he says there are plaques that are littered with the name of President William Ruto in the country, that is not a statement of fact and standing order 105.
Senator Chalage, just a minute ago, you are requesting to be given the names of the governors. Correct. You have the plaques. Also, you mentioned the name of a certain governor.
Sit down, Mr. Speaker, can I finish?
Speaker,
can I finish? Mr. Speaker, can I finish?
Too long.
Can I finish?
Listen, Senator Chalage, since too long cannot make a right. Also, Senator Sifuna, there was a communication from the chair about that standing order to avoid mentioning names of state officers who are not in this house. Maybe unless you bring a substantive motion.
Honorable Speaker, can I finish?
Can I finish?
Sit down, Bana.
Sit
down. You are not the Speaker.
All the senators.
You are not the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why is Senator Sifuna ordering me? You are the Speaker.
Resume the seat. Resume your seat, Senator Sifuna. Let me finish what I was saying. I'm saying as much as possible, you know, those plaques, those billboards and everything, whatever it is, avoid mentioning names of whatever billboard you saw, so that now we can make progress, Senator Chalge.
Honorable Speaker, can I proceed, please?
Yes, but
Honorable Speaker, we are not discussing personalities. We are discussing our money. The Senator for Narok, Honorable Speaker, came from a time when he was hosting the president in his county. So he came back and told us, oh, we have been given an airport in Narok. The contractors are there day and night. So one time I had been given a lift by a friend of mine. We were coming from somewhere in Western. I said I want to see this airstrip in Narok that has a contractor day and night. So I asked the pilot to fly over that space. Honorable Speaker, there is a plaque sitting there. There are no contractors there. That young man called Morara has gone around the whole country, has shown us. Even when you go to the so-called stadium in Wote, if you go to Camarine Stadium, you will find those plaques there. Honorable Speaker, we cannot have these gatekeepers of the executive in the legislature. You do your job, let him do his job. So, Honorable Speaker, when he was going, Honorable Speaker, can you protect me from this heckler?
Senator Chegre, order, kindly.
No. Honorable Speaker, do you know?
Of order are not making sense now.
Honorable Speaker, there is...
Senator Chalagay, can you allow...
You know when you are used to using matatus, have you ever been in a chopper? You can see.
No.
Honorable Speaker, protect me from
Senator
this.
Chalagay. Senator Chalagay, I'm giving you the first warning this afternoon. I'm giving you the first warning. No point of order.
Honorable Speaker, please.
Let Senator Sifuna be in silence.
Thank you.
To conclude his...
Honorable Speaker, so the point that I was making, Honorable Speaker, is that those plaques with names of either projects that have been started or concluded should bear the same sign that I told you about, the Road Maintenance Levy Fund. It should say, your taxes have built this stadium in Wote. Your taxes have built this stadium in Camarine, which doesn't exist, by the way. Honorable Speaker, let me conclude by commenting on something he said. And I was very quiet when he spoke, so I hope he will be quiet too. Honorable Speaker, as a responsible government, you cannot tell us to wait for you to face you in 2027, and you are killing us today. Albert Ojwang is in the ground. He will not be able to meet William Ruto in 2027. So if we stopped, all of us, if all of us agreed, all of us should agree.
Senator
all of
Sifuna,
us should agree.
Senator
Honorable
Sifuna,
Speaker, please don't stop me.
You are now contravening standing on the 121.
Now the Speaker himself is interrupting me.
Standing on the 121. I gave a ruling, I gave you guidance. You know you cannot do elections in the Senate. We don't do elections in the Senate. So avoid mentioning names of state officers. I warned you. I cautioned you. That is the first caution again, understanding on the 121.
Very well, Honorable Speaker.
And you know the consequences.
Very well, Honorable Speaker. Very well, Honorable Speaker. What I'm saying is this. All of us must agree that if decisions are being made democratically at an election, can we guarantee that all of us get to that election? Because you can't tell me to wait for you at the ballot and then you make sure I don't get there. Is Albert Ojwang supposed to vote from the grave? There's no such polling station. So when you talk about a state officer standing up and saying you can shoot people, as if people don't die from gunshot wounds. Honorable Speaker, we saw Rex Masai, the young man who was killed during the protest, was shot in the leg. So how can you tell people to shoot people in the leg as if those injuries are sustainable injuries? So, Honorable Speaker, we want to make it very clear that as a country, we have totally lost our way. And we will not have a conversation with someone telling us to wait for 2027 when he's not giving us a chance to get to 2027. He has become an existential threat for this country, and he must go as soon as possible. I thank you.
Senator Wakiri Hilali.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, you will protect me from Senator Cherargei, particularly when he makes reference to the local dialect that he requests of me to speak to the House on. First, Mr. Speaker, I want to laud this gentleman called Laban Omusundi. He has not only been filing public interest petitions in this House on matters like what we are debating today, but also on matters that covers on the laws that we are legislating in this particular House. Mr. Speaker, in fact, as of today, we have, as JLAC, a report that we were meant to table on another petition that he has filed regarding the introduction of a framework on the recall of members of County Assembly, and in that particular petition is saying that the law does not provide for it. So as a Kenyan, a patriotic Kenyan for that matter, I want to appreciate him because we've dealt with not one, not two, but more than 3 petitions as JLAC by this same gentleman. I needed to appreciate him so that as he continues to do that most of us do not or cannot do, he knows he's doing it because he's a patriotic Kenyan and he's doing the act that is expected of us, not only to keep the legislature in toss in terms of enactment of laws, but also in terms of public interest petitions that covers areas including where we are saying we do not want to continue seeing governors, members of parliament, members of county assemblies, emboldening their names on resources of public which have been utilized to develop certain infrastructure in our various places. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the committee that dealt with this issue, and in particular the recommendation and the timeline they gave requiring the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to do certain actions within 30 days. Mr. Speaker, it is on public notoriety that almost all elected governors, members of parliament, and members of county assembly, in the simplest of the projects, including public toilets and some pit latrines, they publish their names saying that this particular project was done by so-and-so on this particular date without necessarily making reference to the fact that those are public resources. And Mr. Speaker, such publications in itself is abuse of office. In fact, it goes beyond unethical conduct, but it borders on abuse of office and is sufficient ground for someone to be brought to book and also be charged for abuse of office. And so to have a Kenyan like Laban Nsundi to prick our conscience and ask of us to make certain recommendations and also to think through the actions that we do is something that not most of us would do. And for the committee to also invite this particular house to have a conversation around this and to invite the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to act is to remind us that these violations of the law, these violations of the guidelines that we do have are not only costly to the public, but they are potentially going to encourage unnecessary competition because one would, in the process of having seen someone politically made famous by the use of public resources, they would do it. My colleagues have made reference here of certain motor vehicles where they have indicated or even have a portrait of the person who is seen as the patron, whether it's a member of parliament who's funded or rather who has facilitated the acquisition of such a school bus or an institution bus using CDF or public resources, and their portrait is appearing at the rear mirror or the rear window of the car. In itself, one would be forced to equally do the same. And I want to associate myself with the recommendation that even if you really would want to have your name there, then use your own resources, use your own money in your individual foundations or private life, use the resources that belongs to you and publish your name there. Let public resources be used for public resources, because if you were to look at the amount of these portraits of the billboards that are payable for one to display, that amount is sufficient to be utilized to do projects which would benefit the public. I therefore appreciate the work and the recommendation of the committee, and as Senator Cherargei said, we have indeed invited the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to give us an itemized status of the cases or reports which various committees of this House have made recommendations for their action. And in due course, we shall be able to table that particular report, having summoned the commission before the committee. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Very well, Senator Zena, the Maletian, not present, Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also stand in support of the report by the Standing Committee on Devolution on this petition on by Laban. The Speaker, the issues that we as a Senate are called upon to deal with in the counties are major issues, and this is one of those issues. The Speaker, all of us are born witness to situations where governors in particular counties want to behave as though their names are synonymous with their counties. That every little thing that they do, they want to do billboards with their names and their photos, indicating that they are the people and the leaders that are responsible for the projects that they are talking about. The Speaker, the thing that these people don't understand is that they are in office for, if they are lucky, 5 years. And if they get luckier, they may be 10 years, and that's it. They can never be in office for more than 10 years. The Speaker, some of us are insulted by images of leaders, governors, that the voters kicked out of office, but their images are still staring at us, the Speaker, and proclaiming ownership of projects in counties. Mr. Speaker, this petition by Laban and the recommendations by the Committee on Devolution is one instance where, as a Senate, we should actually move with speed, Mr. Speaker, and ensure that those billboards and those signages, whatever they are brought down, Mr. Speaker. Because there's one thing, Mr. Speaker, to say that they should not be erected going forward. It's a different story, Mr. Speaker, to have to endure the images of those governors and their names on those billboards, looking down on us every time we use it, whether it's a road or a project that was initiated and completed during their time. So, Mr. Speaker, I fully support the recommendations of the committee and thank Laban for bringing that petition to the Senate. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, when I came in, I found my colleagues in serious conflict and a war of words over remarks that were being made by the senator for Nairobi. The Speaker, the one thing that we must agree, all of us, is that this country belongs to all of us. Every one of us. Those in authority and those under authority, the Speaker. This country belongs to all of us. There is one thing, the Speaker, that is getting very rare among us, and it gets me very worried. The Speaker, the tolerance levels in this country are really going very low. And it's a matter of concern for me as a leader, as a citizen of this country. The Speaker, people will hold different views on the same matter. It doesn't mean that those people must be enemies just on account of different views that they hold. The Speaker, authority is given to some offices, including our own office, the Speaker, as senators. We have the power to summon governors and state officers and grill them on issues of public concern. Mr. Speaker, The executive has been given powers by the Constitution to ensure the safety of our property and the safety of our lives, to make sure that this country runs and runs in a good way, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I keep saying that I am probably the least qualified to offer any advice to the executive, the national executive, or even the county executives. But Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with the national executive, led by His Excellency the President. I really want to plead. Mr. Speaker, we tone down rhetoric. We tone down our speeches. We be careful the things that we say in public for good reasons, Mr. Speaker. Because if our president then says certain things in public, chances are that some people will react to those things. They will answer him. That exchange, Mr. Speaker, is not good for us. This country needs serious healing and tolerance. Mr. Speaker, I know it is a very difficult thing to ask for, but I'll ask for anyway. I wish the president could find it in his heart to just even withdraw the orders that he gave yesterday about police shooting people in the leg. I just wish he could. Maybe he can't, but I wish he could. Because, Mr. Speaker, that's an avenue for serious bloodshed in this country. We don't want to go that route, Mr. Speaker. We want to differ politically, and we have said it openly and honestly, Mr. Speaker, and candidly, that for us in the opposition, we are going to be willing and persevere until 2027. We meet the president and his party at the ballot, and the Kenyan people will decide which team to elect into office. Mr. Speaker, that can only happen if we have a country by 2027. If we don't have a country in 2027, then even the conversation about the elections in 2027 will be moot conversations, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal for tolerance. I want to appeal, Mr. Speaker, that to whom much is given, more is required. A lot more is given to the office of the president. Much more is required from that office.
I don't want to cut you short, but be relevant to the motion. Understanding under 120. Stop diverting from the call agenda on the motion. If you want to discuss that matter, then you can know what to do. Just bring a motion. Let us discuss it.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided.
Do you want to be informed?
Yeah, I can be informed, yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to inform Honorable Wambua, because he was not in the House, that in fact the person who started that discussion about the shoot-to-kill orders was Senator from Nandi during the debate. And in the rules of fairness, we also have to comment. And I have to point out that no point did I hear the Speaker interject and say that that is not relevant. So what's good for the gander must be good for the goose. Allow us to speak on matters of national interest, Honorable Speaker.
While on the floor, I gave guidance.
No, you never interjected to stop him.
You cannot.
He's the one who brought that matters there. Honorable
order.
Speaker, you must be fair to both sides of the House. But you have to be fair to both sides of the House.
No.
That matter, Senator Wambua, was begun by the Senator for Nandi. He spoke extensively, and we must respond to the things that he said.
That's fair enough.
He will tell me when the information is enough, Honorable Speaker. You should allow him to say whether it is enough. I have more.
Senator Sifuna.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you for the information, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am guided by your direction. And Mr. Speaker, allow me to remind this House that on the June 25th of 2024, when this house was invaded by young people. Mr. Speaker, everybody else took off. He took off. And I remember I even reminded the majority leader yesterday in my conversation with him that the decision that the Senate took to stay the course and confront the issues as they were, to a very great extent, Mr. Speaker, that decision by the Senate saved this country. Mr. Speaker, we should never shy away from confronting our realities. We should never shy away from that. Even when, Mr. Speaker, there are serious conflicts, we should never shy away from confronting our realities. Because, Mr. Speaker, we are the upper house. That's what we pride ourselves to be. We are the upper house. And when the Senate speaks, Mr. Speaker, the country should listen. The president should listen. The opposition should listen. When the Senate speaks, every other leader in this country, the Speaker, should be able to listen to what we are saying. The Speaker, I am guided by your direction that maybe we need to bring a motion to discuss these issues, maybe not, but the truth of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, we have an opportunity as a Senate to bring the temperatures down and make sure that the country moves in the right direction. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Senator Mutinda, Tabitha, you can leave after she starts. No, he had just concluded. Senator Tabitha.
Thank you, Chair. I see my home senator, Senator Mambua, and my county senator, Sifuna, want me to speak. Before I even proceed, Mr. Speaker, to this motion, I would request very humbly if you would also recognize these beautiful students that I've been seeing walking in and out in your humble request as a group. There are so many schools as I can see. Anyway, allow me to proceed, Mr. Speaker. First of all,
Tabitha, don't imply that is the chair who is not recognizing, because from where I'm sitting, I'm not able to see the students.
Yes, and that's why
I'm being guided by my assistants here,
correct,
but I have not been ratted.
Yes, I know you as my senator again.
It is the Chair Kaduri who is not.
I have so many senators. I know you as my senator, you cannot see, and that's why in my wisdom I've courteously reminded. As I proceed, Mr. Speaker, allow me to start really appreciating the Committee of Devolution for the great work that they've done. I've even seen that after 30 days after the adoption of this report, and then the effect should take place upon us agreeing to this report. But I wish even it will take 14 days. 30 days is even long, because the matters that have been presented by this committee are very critical matters, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we've heard from the committee whereby county cars have been branded individual leaders, whereby the notion is that these properties belong to individual. Mr. Speaker, I remember when I was in the mediation committee just recently over the issue of division of revenue. We kept on trying to get to a mediated version in terms of the amount that we were supposed to agree. And from where I sat, I could notice that members of the National Assembly would argue like this and say, this money being given to the governors, Mr. Speaker. And we really had to correct as senators, and corrected and indicated, this is not money that is being given to individual governors. This is not money to an individual. This is taxpayers' funding that should be utilized as per the law. Projects that need to be done should be done not for that particular governor, not for that particular leader, but for the people of that particular region. Monies that
we've given to counties, Mr. Speaker. Monies that we've always also advocated in terms of late disbursement and issues like that. It sounds like this money is being given to a certain person to control from their house how they want to control. This is not private money, Mr. Speaker. This is public money. Public money that is accumulated through the tax that we pay, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to emphasize something on the same. When we talk about these cars, when we talk about these buildings, Mr. Speaker,
Senatorial Guy, I would beg, give me silence.
Mr. Speaker, public resources, Mr. Speaker, should be well utilized.
Public resources are not just for that particular leader, for that particular financial year. They are for the generations and generations to come. We cannot be having budgets whereby one particular project is the same one that is being funded year in, year out. Why? Because we've allowed that public resources cannot be well utilized. It is wrong. Even if that public resource has been funded by the taxpayers' money, it is the responsibility of the leadership at that particular time to ensure that the standard of that particular asset is within the required standard, Mr. Speaker. Resources should not be misused simply because they are government resources. It is wrong, Mr. Speaker. We've seen also, Mr. Speaker, whereby at times public cars or government cars, Mr. Speaker, whereby number plates are removed and private number plates installed so that people can be able to use these government resources as if they are their own toys, Mr. Speaker. It is a high time, Mr. Speaker, that EACC cracks the whip heavily on this. If it is a government vehicle, let it be a government vehicle. Let inspection be done. Let the institutions, NTSA, traffic police, let them ensure that those government vehicles are also up to standard. Because we've seen whereby people want to misuse, they don't care. Because nobody has gone through the pain of investing and talking about, near serikali. It is wrong, Mr. Speaker. It is the high time that when we adopt this particular report, we want to see EACC in collaboration with NTSA, in collaboration with the traffic police, ensure that those properties are to standard, those properties are well utilized, and that so-called branding, be it on those cars, Mr. Speaker, be it even on those schools that we're being told someone has branded their names. So how many photos should we have? Now, let me ask this question, Mr. Speaker. In the event, for example, the ministers, today we call them cabinet ministers, we used to call them what? Whereby if a minister has been appointed, case example, Minister for Health. Now, today, you can imagine going to the Ministry of Afya House, actually, and finding a big portrait of Mheshimiwa Duale there, because he's the minister. Tomorrow, if you have another minister called Minister Mutinda, you'll find another big portrait there. What kind of business are we doing? A leader should ensure that they perform as per the required mandates and all that. It's not about how many billboards you've put. And number two, even where is that money coming from? Which are these resources that we keep on using during all this branding? And then after that person, that leader leaves office, rebranding needs to be done. It's not about, Mr. Speaker, how much someone has been able to do. It's more of the assets that have been put in place using the public fund are well utilized, are to the standard that is required, that is needed, Mr. Speaker. That is what is important, Mr. Speaker. I would even ask myself, in the event that EACC is undertaking their role, and they find, for example, leader A, leader B, or C has, issues to answer or has been found guilty on corruption matters. So then why can't we allow EACC to also have billboards all over this country of those leaders who have misused funds? so that it's, you know, it's a two-way traffic, Mr. Speaker. Why can't we allow EACC to put on billboards these rogue leaders? If the money that is supposed to fund projects and do what is needed is the same money that leaders are using for branding of themselves, Mr. Speaker. It's not even a campaign time, Mr. Speaker. Allow, Mr. Speaker, for me to say that I also want to agree partly with what my other home senator, Senator Wambua, has talked about when he says as leaders, as politicians, we also need to minimize the politicking that we are so good at, Mr. Speaker. Instigating and bringing about temperatures. Kenyans are hungry, it's true. Kenyans are frustrated, it's true. But we cannot be then the leaders who are not offering solutions. We should be leaders who are offering solutions. This country is not for one individual, it is for all of us. This country is not for one community, it is for all of us. And it's a high time, Mr. Speaker, actually, even the young generation, I would wish them that when they get blessed and have their little ones and the young ones, even instead of giving them the vernacular surnames, if a kid is born and the mother is called Tabitha and the father is called Enoch, it should be Tabitha Enoch. This thing of this tribal is what we are still instigating up to date. The conversation that is there, Mr. Speaker, today is a community conversation, which is still bringing more issues and more anger to our people. Our young people need jobs. And that conversation can only be done on tables with the relevant leaders, led by none other than Dr. William Ruto, the president of this country, putting the business people on table, putting the church leaders on table, putting our university leaders on table, putting us, the leaders of this nation, on table for us to have an economic discussion that is going to ensure, Mr. Speaker, our young people are able to get opportunities, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutinda, there is a point of order from your neighbor.
All right.
Sana mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kulingana na kanuni za Spika kwa mavazi, senator yote anafaa kuwa amevalia vinavyotakikana, na hiyo pia inafaa kuwa viatu. Senator Tabitha tafsiri yake anatoa kwa mguu chuma, hana viatu. Na ndio maana mstahiki Spika, unamwona kwa hii kawaida anakuanga mrefu, sasa amekuwa mfupi kama mwezi wa Februari. Nauliza mstahiki Spika, hiyo ni ungwana kweli?
Sasa Senator Murango, mpaka umekagua Senator Mutinda ukaona hajavaa viatu, unajua nifikiria unaangalia nguo ya juu.
Mstahiki Spika, katika kusitasta kwako ashavaa viatu. Kwa hivyo sina hoja kuashirisha tena. Asante sana Mstahiki Spika.
Nilikuwa nataka ufafanue sababu umemulika.
Spika, unajua Mstahiki Spika, nimekaa karibu sana na Senator Tabitha. Na unajua ni kawaida ya wanaume kuwaona sana wanawake na wanaume na wanawake kuwaona sana wanaume. Sasa Mstahiki Spika, huyu kwa sababu ni dada yangu, na kulingana na ile hali niliyo nayo na ile majukumu nimepewa kutoka nyumbani, ni kuhakikisha kwamba anavaa vipasavyo na wala hatoki katika njia ambazo tumewafundisha wao kama wazazi. Kwa hivyo ndio maana nimeangalia na kuona kwa maana viatu, lakini ashavaa, nadhani ataendelea namna hiyo. Asante sana Mstahiki Spika.
Senator Mutinda, Tabitha.
Karibu, sorry, I was almost again speaking in...
the majority leader wants to inform you.
Okay. Yes, I'd love to be informed.
Thank you, Senator Tabitha. You know, I wanted to inform her because I've had her speak on this topic, and this is something I also wanted to say to Senator Wambua, but I didn't get the opportunity. On cooling this topic that they are speaking to, including Senator Tabitha, that we must find a way of bringing sanity back to the country. You know, part of bringing sanity, Senator Tabitha, include us being honest with ourselves and stop being dishonest to the country. Mr. Speaker, there has been a conversation in the country about who owns the goons. You hear people say they belong to so-and-so. If you want to know who owns the goons, Mr. Speaker, it is those who defend them, Mr. Speaker. Because we have a challenge in the country now, Mr. Speaker, where every time people say they want to protest, there are goons that take advantage and break into people's shops. They are breaking into police stations. They are stealing. I saw in your county, they stole milk
from the most successful cooperative in the country. Therefore, Senator Tabitha, if you want to address yourself to that particular topic, you must be honest and condemn those goons. Anybody trying to pretend that they want to solve that particular problem, but they are only addressing one facet of the problem, because I listened to what the president said, Mr. Speaker. He didn't say protesters be shot. He didn't say anybody be shot. He said, if you find these people that are breaking into people's homes, harassing, raping women, stealing people's property, immobilize them and take them to court, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, if you want to know the owners of the goons, Mr. Speaker, it is those that are either defending them or saying absolutely nothing about their conduct.
Mutinda, you are well informed, isn't it?
Very well informed. I never thought that my good colleague, Senator Morango, would walk out. I was just curious. You know, I have one of the most unique hairstyles. I thought he would be looking from up. I just got astonished what he was really looking down there. All said, Mr. Speaker, allow me to conclude, Mr. Speaker, and from where I was briefly interrupted. Mr. Speaker, the conversation that I'm talking about is a conversation as leaders that we need to welcome discussions and conversations. Yes, Mr. Speaker, when I say that it should not be about, we should not narrow it to community issues. Here in Nairobi, where I represent, Mr. Speaker, properties, businesses have been destroyed, Mr. Speaker. And the people who have done that damage, Mr. Speaker, should be brought to book, Mr. Speaker. I agree to that 100%. But the question is that the way to go? Is that the solution? Such that we'll have people who are leaders inciting young people, inciting them, such that they are going to destroy these businesses that should be offering them job opportunities, Mr. Speaker. I've had leaders, Mr. Speaker, it's only that you said we should not mention names, saying that they know the goons, Mr. Speaker. Then we say a thief knows a thief, Mr. Speaker. A thief is used to catch a thief, Mr. Speaker. They should be on the front line and saying these are the people who are bringing these goons, Mr. Speaker, because if they don't say it, it means they are also supporting the hooliganism that we've seen, Mr. Speaker. I saw a video, Mr. Speaker, of those goons going to invade an estate. People have decided we are not going to go to, for these demonstrations. But these young people are entering in these homes, Mr. Speaker. And we should sit back and say it is okay. It is not okay. And some of the leaders are saying they know these goons. They should be in the front line to bring to book these particular wrong people who are being used to destroy people's property, Mr. Speaker. But at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, allow me to finish my home senator, Mr. Speaker.
To place the intervention, don't need to shout point of order. That is why I'm here to see who is raising a point of order. Senator Wambua Enoch.
Mr. Speaker, you had directed us so well that if we wanted to have this conversation, then there is a way that we can have it. But now that Senator Tabitha wants a continuation of this conversation and you're not stopping her, Mr. Speaker, can she tell us who these leaders are? Who these leaders are inciting people? Who are these leaders? Because personally, Mr. Speaker, as a leader in this country in the opposition, I will tell you, I am squarely opposed to any kind of violence or robbery or destruction of property. And any person who does that, the leaders and the people who do it, must face the full force of the law. Mr. Speaker, that's a position we have taken. If then Senator Tabitha is so sure about the leaders who are inciting people, why are those leaders not arrested?
Senator,
why are they roaming freely in the country? Why can't they be arrested?
Asking her to mention names here is actually contravening my directive. So don't ask her to mention under Mr. Senator Mbua. You should not direct her to mention names. That is what I said we should not do. That is contravening our standing orders. And this topic is so weighty. We are talking about our country, Kenya. Let us not look like we are trying to blame this side or this other side. And I directed very well that I wish you could have raised, one of you could have raised with the chair a motion to suspend the sitting even to discuss all these issues you are raising. But now if you do point of orders without really a good motion to discuss, we cannot help Kenya in that manner. What is your point of order?
Yeah, Chair, pursuant to Standing Order 101, sub-article 4, on imputation of improper motive. Honorable Speaker, there are aspersions being cast here that anyone who has spoken against government excesses knows who the goons are. Honorable Speaker, the Senator Mutinda, nominated Senator Mutinda, comes from my county. She is aware that we have 12-year-olds, we have 7-year-olds in Mathare who are shot on the balconies of their houses. Who are those people breaking into homes? When you give a direct order, Honorable Speaker, to people who cannot even aim guns properly, they are shooting people inside their houses. How will they see their legs in their houses? We have people in Nairobi who are dead in their houses. Are we supposed to see how do you see?
Sifuna, why are you Senator Sifuna? Senator Sifuna, you are misguiding yourself on Standing on 114. Can you read it around? Yes.
Improper motive, Honorable Speaker. To who? To leaders in this house, to senators in this house. You have had it.
Senator Mutinda, what did
so,
you say?
This is what we want to say.
You not hear you say that.
Which improper motive?
Allow me to
I want her to repeat what she said so that I can capture. But then I can, as you execute your point of order.
Chair, can I complete my point of order?
But you're completing on what ground?
Because what I'm requesting Senator Tabitha to do is to clarify.
Chair. Yes.
What did
Chair, you know some of us.
Chair, let me clarify. You are the chair and you've directed that I speak. You've directed that Senator Mutinda clarifies. Allow me to clarify, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about national dialogue. I'm talking about unity in this country.
Is that Mr. Speaker? Young people have lost their lives, Mr. Speaker. It is sad. We are still mourning, Mr. Speaker. And I think you've directed and said, let us move away and have a motion. I agree with that, Mr. Speaker. I respect that. Allow me to conclude, Mr. Speaker, as far as this is concerned. I want to state and say, EACC, Mr. Speaker, should enforce strict compliance with accountability, Mr. Speaker. As soon as we adopt this report from the Devolution Committee, as soon as all is done, within 30 days, Mr. Speaker, then this should also be enforced, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, I didn't know people like my shoes that much because everybody is noticing that I have shoes or not. With those many and few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I do support.
Honorable Senators, they have a communication to make on visiting teachers and students from St. Peter's Boys Mumias Primary School in Kakamega County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from St. Peter's Boys Primary School in Mumias Primary School in Kakamega County. The delegation comprises of 14 teachers and 334 students who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. Honorable Senators, in our issue tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. Thank you. Senator Sifuna, can you welcome the visitors from Mumias Primary School, St. Peter's Boys Mumias?
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I want the students to understand that I was born at St. Mary's Hospital, which is next door to St. Peter's Primary School. So I feel some affinity that somehow the Speaker also noticed. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to welcome the students. As they say, kuna chemuka saa ingine, but you're welcome to the Senate to be able to follow debate on important national matters. We are hoping that when you grow up, some of us started from there in Mumias, and now we are here. So you will also be here. And let nobody tell you that you cannot be here or you cannot be what you want to be. Thank you so much.
Next is Senator Catherine Muma. And after you finish your contribution, you approach the chair for another direction.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I'm a member of the Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations Committee, and I stand to applaud Mr. Laban Omsundi for his very progressive petitions to this House and to Parliament, petitions that are actually very momentous and very relevant to the times of our country or our nation at the moment. Mr. Speaker, the issues raised by Mr. Laban Omsundi in terms of barring the use or the appending of personal images and names on public projects is an important issue that is at the core of the values and principles of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, to be precise, Article 10 requires that the governance system in this country shall be accountable and shall be transparent. Mr. Speaker, Chapter 6 has very key provisions that on leadership and integrity, and when it comes to responsibilities expected of leaders in this country, Article 73(1) requires that leaders shall be honest in the execution of public duties. That is 73, subclause 2C1, that leaders shall be honest in the execution of public duties. Mr. Speaker, when I am advanced or I use public resources to develop a project and then I call it a Catherine Muma project, that is clear evidence of dishonesty. Mr. Speaker, so those who are currently appending their names on public projects are in violation of Chapter 6 of our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, Article 75, 1B is also relevant on this matter. It talks about the conduct of state officers and requires that state officers shall not compromise any public or official interest in favor of personal interest. Mr. Speaker, when I take my picture and take my name and append it on a classroom built by public resources that I have some supervision over, Mr. Speaker, I am compromising public interest for personal gain. And how do I do so? I want those in the public to believe that I am the one who has done that, usually so that they can elect me at the next election. Mr. Speaker, it's a violation of Chapter 6 of the Constitution in clear terms. Mr. Speaker, what Mr. Omsundi raises, and I told him when we were doing public participation that the only thing I regretted about his petition was the fact that he was restricting it to governors and MCS. This is a petition that actually touches on all, both national and county government officials, including those of us in the parliament who, when executing projects implemented with public resources, we have fallen into the trap of appending our pictures and our names and making the public imagine that we are the ones funding those projects. Mr. Speaker, I believe beyond what we have recommended as a committee, and I would want to call Mr. Omsundi and others who would go for public interest litigation that any public officer who actually appends their name on public projects should, on the basis of the articles that I have just read, be barred from standing for public office. In fact, they need to be barred from holding any public office. Mr. Speaker, you might be aware that in every law that we have implemented, and I was a member of the Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution, we actually made it a requirement that before anybody is appointed or elected into public office, they should be compliant with Chapter 6 of the Constitution. And I've just demonstrated how what Mr. Laban Musundi is actually talking about is a violation of Chapter 6 of our Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, even as we ask EACC to name and shame, my view is that this should not be enough. This should be one ground against which the IEBC should bar all those officers who are seeking election from seeking election after pretending or dishonestly presenting public projects as though they are their personal projects. Mr. Speaker, this habit or this conduct is flourishing in our country because we have not, 13 years later, 15 years after the promulgation of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, we have not legislated on civic education. We are supposed to invest as a country in civic education to be able to educate the public, the citizens, particularly the vulnerable, to understand that when public officers abuse office, misappropriate, and I'm using this word misappropriate very carefully, by suggesting that I am the one who has delivered this project when I am not the one who delivered it, Mr. Speaker, in my view, that is misappropriation. I am actually pretending, lying to the public, that by my power and by my finances, I have delivered a project when I have not. Mr. Speaker, you know the impact of these lies to our public. Many of our poor people have ended up, in fact, not having a proper choice when it comes to elections because they are misled by the fact that this electoral officer shared a check of 2,000 shillings, and that check, I owe it to them to vote for them because they gave it to me. There are many people from poor families who believe the bursaries they receive of public funds are funds by the individuals who actually dish out those checks. And that's why when Senator Karungo raised or tabled the bill to try and amalgamate all bursaries into funds that can go directly to the schools, I was supportive of that bill. Mr. Speaker, we've reached that place in our society, in my view, when we have to recollect, when we have to introspect as a country, when we have to correct where we have gone wrong. And one of the ways in which we have gone wrong is to misappropriate our offices, particularly as elected leaders, to actually mislead society that the resources of this nation are our resources, and we can dish them out in our name, we can dish them out as we wish. Mr. Speaker, because of that, corruption has gone to high heavens in terms of the instances. So, Mr. Msundi, you have actually brought a very good petition, a petition that is actually should be taken seriously, a petition that should be listened to, and in my view, a petition that all Kenyans of goodwill, those in civil society, those listening, the citizens who care to understand what the Constitution is saying, those of us in elective offices, those in appointive offices, should understand the need to separate public interest from personal interest. Mr. Speaker, as we move forward, I'm wondering whether it is more legislation that we need. We need our institutions, and Mr. Speaker, we have so many Chapter 15 commissions in this country that can actually assist us to implement some of these issues. We are asking that we have enough people willing to move petitions like Mr. Musundi has done, willing to go to court, willing to move to the Commission on the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, but Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, the National Gender Equality Commission, the CAJ can, on their own motion, be able to actually take on some of these issues and move them to their logical conclusion. So even as I sit, Mr. Speaker, I am glad that members of this Senate have taken this report seriously. I am glad that they have taken Mr. Omsundi's petition seriously and debated it at length during this time when, in my view, the country needs to redirect itself in order to get back on track from tens of years of nurturing a bad habit that may very well throw us off the cliff. Mr. Speaker, I hope our students who are learning will also understand that this is important. As you grow up, you need to know that the fact that an MP has given you a bursary does not mean it is their personal money. It is money that has been appropriated by Parliament for purposes of education, and they need to be doing so humbly, indicating that we received so much in terms of the kitty of bursary, and this is how we have deployed it. Those who have done it well, Mr. Speaker, have usually allowed the public to determine for themselves who is the most needy, and they have openly shared. So what Mr. Msundi has raised is, as I began by saying, is a matter of accountability. We can't account if we say public money is our money. We can't account if we even have the arbitrary decision to be able to say, because this village largely voted against me or for my opponent, this village will not get this particular service. The day we get to that level where nobody will know, the public or the villagers will just know that we have so many millions for a road, and we want to know whether that road is worth the millions that were allocated for it. When we move to that level and start understanding what costs what, we will have less misappropriation both of our offices and of the public funds that are assigned to our offices or that are related to our offices. So, Mr. Musundi, I don't know whether you're listening out there, and whoever else, thank you so much for giving us opportunity to canvass and discuss this issue in this country, an issue which does not need any law, in my view, to be passed, is an issue that needs to be implemented. And it's an issue that is important for policy for this reason. When I become governor and then we have Muma Care, Thangwa takes over, and because Thangwa heads Catherine, Thangwa decides, no, I'm moving away Muma Care, now it is Thangwa Care. When Asige takes over, Asige says it is now Asige Care. We don't even know what we are communicating. And when Beatrice takes over, she wants it to be called
Abito care. Why are we personalizing public service? If we think this program is good for maternal health, let it just be a good program for maternal health that must be retained by every next government. We must not play around with services to our people where we decide this is about a mix for Catherine Muma, the next mix is for so-and-so, and that's what we have done with our education system. Every president who comes wants their variation of an education system. Meantime, their own children are not going to those education systems. They've taken them to international schools and they're experimenting with others. We must decide this program is good for our nation and we are going to continue. Regardless of whether the previous president was a good president in my view or not. We must learn to get to the place where we praise a good program for what it is, regardless of what we think of whoever is doing it. And the best way to do it is to stop naming programs after ourselves, is to stop calling ourselves the patrons and the matrons of all these public programs. Mr. Speaker, we have a program in Nyakach, which was built by one member of parliament, and 10 years later has never been used because another member of parliament has never seen the need to use that facility. People of that village are now requesting, why don't we use this building, give it to the county government so that it can make a hospital out of it, because we have issues with women delivering. But because Catherine did not like what Asige did, Catherine decides she will not continue with the good project that Asige did. So we must remove our names from projects. And we must remove our pictures from projects. We must allow public projects to remain public projects. And if we do so, the personal benefit will move away, and even in elections now become leveled in terms of the playing field. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Senators, I have this communication to make on visiting teachers and students from Soen Boys High School in Elgeyo Marakwet County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from Kipsoen Boys High School in Elgeyo Marakwet County. The delegation comprises 3 teachers and 48 students who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. Honorable Senators, in our issue tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. Thank you. Since the senator representing Elgeyo Marakwet County is out on other duties, I will ask Senator Sige to welcome the visitors from Elgeyo Marakwet.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity to give a warm welcome to the boys' school from Elgeyo Marakwet. I want to welcome you heartily to the Senate. I'm hoping very much that you have an enjoyable visit, not just enjoyable, but also educational, and you get to meet and understand the mandate that we hold here in the Senate as members of Parliament representing your county and other counties across the nation. Mr. Speaker, as a young person myself here in the Senate representing youth, women, and persons with disabilities, because I also have a disability myself, which is visual, I just wanted to encourage the young men amongst us today that they can too be sat in the positions that we're sitting in, and I hope, because they are not the future generation, they are the generation for today. I hope and pray that they believe and see that they can change this nation. They can definitely give us a brighter and more a brighter future is what I mean, Speaker. I hope you make better decisions than some of our past legislators and maybe some of us might make here and there. We do make mistakes as well, but learn from us and do better than us in future. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sige. Next is Senator Dhangwa Paul Karungo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. But before I give my contribution, I don't know which standing order, Mr. Speaker, prohibits this Senate from mentioning the public officers' names. The only thing it prohibits is discussing their character. Because, Mr. Speaker, we know the President is William Ruto. We know the CS for Interior is Kipchumba Murkomen. We know them by name. So by prohibiting us from just mentioning their names and their public officers, I think that is wrong, Mr. Speaker. Unless the Senate is not aware who the President is.
Guidance.
I'm not.
It has been said many, many times.
I'm not challenging.
This is not the first time.
Maybe unless the Senate probably doesn't want us to mention the names of those people who work for Kenyans. But nevertheless, Mr. Speaker, let me give my contribution. Mr. Speaker, the issue of public officers and state officers branding public projects with their names, with their portraits, is equally corrupt, Mr. Speaker, because you're using public project to promote yourself. I can give an example, Mr. Speaker. In Zaire, there was a president by the name of Mobutu Sese Seko, Mr. Speaker. And Mobutu Sese Seko changed everything to his name, from the airport, to the roads, to the schools. Actually, in that country, they were calling it Mobutuism, because he used to name everything his name, Mr. Speaker. But when he was overthrown in 1997, all those names were removed within a day. And he was forgotten within a day, Mr. Speaker. In Rwanda here, the President Kagame, has refused to brand anything with any official's name. Even his portrait is not hanged in schools. His portrait is not anywhere in businesses, Mr. Speaker. Those are two presidents we can see who are pulling from different sides, Mr. Speaker. But when we come back here in Kenya, and I remember very well, I requested for a statement that has never been responded to here, Mr. Speaker. I requested to know how many schools or how many amenities or how many roads are named after the former presidents of this country, Mr. Speaker. I asked how many schools are named after Moi, how many schools are named after Kibaki, how many are named after Uhuru Kenyatta or even Jomo Kenyatta, or even William Ruto himself, Mr. Speaker. I've not received that, but this is the right time to discuss even that as we discuss this issue of branding. Because, Mr. Speaker, when we give branding, it's self-promotion. You're promoting yourself using the taxpayers' money. And I can give you a very good example, Mr. Speaker. In Embu, a county that is in Mount Kenya, their only stadium is called Moi Stadium. Moi is not playing there. Why do we have a stadium in Embu that is called that president that time, Mr. Speaker? I think it is a time as we discuss this issue, we give people and their counties an opportunity to name those amenities and those utilities and those projects, the names that they would want, Mr. Speaker. If you come to Kiambu, we do not entertain that. We have Kirigiti Stadium, Thika Stadium, Dumberi Stadium, Githunguri Stadium, but not to name it, after people, and probably those people never did justice to the people. If it was a good person, if it was a martyr, if it's somebody who fought for freedom, but not a president who for so many times, probably, Mr. Speaker, really was not a good president, was not a good governor, was not a good MP, was not a good MCA, or even a senator, or even a women rep, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the Constitution, and it has been quoted by the petitioner, Mr. Laban Omusundi, and he quoted his argument from Article 231 of the Constitution that says, Mr. Speaker, and I'll read, notes and coins issued by Central Bank of Kenya, he's talking about money, may bear images that depict or symbolizes Kenya or an aspect of Kenya, but shall not bear the portrait of any individual, Mr. Speaker. So the 2010 Constitution prohibited any president from putting their image on the money, Mr. Speaker. And that's why I think the last president on the money was President Moi. The few presidents, Uhuru, Kibaki, and Ruto, are not on our notes because the law had seen this, Mr. Speaker, self-promotion, idolizing yourselves, so that when you see some money, you think it's the president who is giving you that money, and you have worked hard for it, Mr. Speaker. So, as the Constitution says, the county governments, who are notorious for branding with their portraits, with their names, I've seen an ambulance, Mr. Speaker, an ambulance with a photo of a governor, with a portrait of a governor, Mr. Speaker. You can imagine if we are the governors who are saying shoot to kill, and you have been shot, and the governor who has made you shot, you are entering as an ambulance, and you are seeing his portrait as you are being taken to the hospital, Mr. Speaker. I mean, you see, probably you have an accident because the governor did not fix that road, because the traffic marshals are not doing their work. And when you are taken to hospital, as if an accident was not enough to torment you, you are seeing him inside the ambulance, Mr. Speaker. I think, Mr. Speaker, we should utilize Article 4, not Article 4, Section 4 of the County Government Act that says every county should have a symbol. And what is a symbol? There's a symbol, there's an emblem, there's a flag. The spirit of that section was so that every county should have an identity. If you walk in our corridors here, Mr. Speaker, you see every flag for every county. I wish every county should use their symbols on every government project, on every ambulance. I would want to thank my governor, Kimani Wamatangi, because for the first time, Kiambu County is able to see the colors and the emblems that are there. The only problem is he's putting his image in it too. So if he removes the image, then we will praise him for doing what is supposed to be done, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we were told there is a county, I don't want to mention, they were branding school milk. And you know, when I was growing, Mr. Speaker, even today, I remember Maziwa ya Nyayo, because he was not giving us milk, but he was giving us his name. That's why it is in my mind. I cannot remember the milk, but I remember Nyayo. So that is radicalization, Mr. Speaker. And you know, we had forgotten all these issues, Mr. Speaker. We were okay that it was then. But when we see what is happening today, and when we hear leaders saying, oh, the current regime is reminding us the era of Nyayo, then, Mr. Speaker, you can imagine what nightmares people are going through, those who took Maziwa ya Nyayo. So what I'm trying to say, Mr. Speaker, is that today we might think we are doing right by branding names on roads, on stadium, on vehicles, on ambulances. But in future, Mr. Speaker, when that little child who is in school, who is wearing a T-shirt with a sweater, and especially ECD pupils, who are wearing a sweater with the image of a governor, that child will be tormented in future to understand that they never made it because the governor did not do what they are supposed to do, Mr. Speaker. So we are also trying to cure child trauma today, Mr. Speaker, because we know in future those are the things that people are going to be remembering, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if EACC is going to act on this issue, because branding and putting their images is breaking the Integrity Act, Ethics and Integrity Act, Mr. Speaker, and that is Leadership and Integrity Act. That is Section 13 and 29, Mr. Speaker. So that means the EACC is not doing its work. The EACC, if you want to know EACC is working, just see them chasing a police officer who has received a bribe of 50 shillings. And that's why sometimes I say, Mr. Speaker, I know corruption is not good, but go for the bigger evil. Leave the policeman alone. He was taking 50. Go for the governor who has used millions of money to put a billboard, to put on a newspaper, Mr. Speaker, that he is giving land waivers, Mr. Speaker, and his image is half than the message. Today, if you listen to our vernacular radio station, Mr. Speaker, if you allowed me, I could even say it the way they say it in our vernacular, Mr. Speaker. You'll hear the presenter saying, it is 9 o'clock, time being notified by the governor so-and-so of a certain county, who is reminding you to pay your land rate. A governor is reminding me time on a radio station using the taxpayers' money, Mr. Speaker. And it is happening every day, every moment, 12 times a day. So you can see what they're doing with our minds, Mr. Speaker. That is radicalization. So you think the governor is giving you a waiver. He is not. Actually, the law is very clear. There is no governor who gives land waivers. It is the CEC Treasury or the CEC Finance. Those are the only one given opportunity by the law to give land waivers. Not a governor. Not anyone, Mr. Speaker. And so we do not understand why they put their images. You know, and some of those images are not attractive. You know, when you're told to pay a fine and you're looking at that person or that image, Mr. Speaker, sometimes you get depressed. So can they put the logos and emblems of our countries, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, when we talk about the misuse of funds, as I conclude, when you see a governor putting the portrait on an ambulance and probably at the gate, probably welcome to this county. And I know I have gone to Meru, and when you go to Meru, you pass Embu and you pass Kirinyaga, and you will see some of the portraits on welcome to so-and-so county. And you'll see the image. Mr. Speaker, what that tells you, it tells me to stop thinking about, and I'm giving this as an example. It's telling me not to think about the people of that county. Start thinking about that governor. Start thinking about that person rather than the heritage, the homecoming, hospitality, the good, social behavior of that particular county, Mr. Speaker. Because if we do not stop the governors from doing this, then we will confuse our people. Governors, as we have been told here by Senator Muma, they call it so-and-so care. So-and-so care. You know? We don't care, Mr. Speaker. We don't care about what name is on that project. What we care about is you're using taxpayers' money, so do not put your name in that project, Mr. Speaker. And this should cut across to even the members of parliament. You use CDF, but you put CDF. And when you put CDF block, you say under the patronage of, you put your name in there, Mr. Speaker. I mean, when you put the year that it was built and say, we will remember who was the MP then, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, if you put CDF project by this and this MP, then you should equally put the names of all the taxpayers' money, actually, because they paid the money. So they should have a bigger billboard to put all the 50 million names of Kenyan, Mr. Speaker. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Beatrice Akinyi.
Honorable Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity to support this report. Honorable Speaker, just last week I was amongst the delegation at the pre-devolution conference in Homa Bay County, as was hosted by the Governor of Homa Bay and the Council of Governors. And Honorable Speaker, you should really have seen, and we continue to see, the kind of interest and the value our people attached to devolution. And so, Honorable Speaker, as I start making my presentation, I want to state to you, Mr. Speaker, sir, that devolution should work. Devolution must be made to work. And I also stated there that devolution must be made to work, and devolution should be supported by everyone else, including the national government sectors. Because, Honorable Speaker, when devolution works, we will then receive the equity in development that we are all looking forward to and all Kenyans expect from all over our counties. Honorable Speaker, as we talk about the branding of public projects with images of governors and members of county assemblies, Honorable Speaker, I sincerely would not really care about who brands what, whose picture is where, if all these projects are implemented, and if and when these projects that are initiated and branded are completed, Honorable Speaker. In most of our counties, Honorable Speaker, and in everywhere else, you see projects that have been initiated, brand pictures have been put, and yet the projects have not even been completed, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, these projects, as budgeted for by the executive and approved by the county assemblies, my main concern with these projects is that they must be implemented, Honorable Speaker. All over our counties, our people supported, and we supported devolution because we wanted services closer to our people. We wanted projects taken to all the wards and down even to the villages so that we would achieve the equity that we are talking about. And that is why I say, Honorable Speaker, that I may not care so much whose picture is where, if only those projects would be implemented and completed and would be in use by the people of Kenya, then I would be a very happy senator seated here, Honorable Speaker. The other concern that we have with the projects down there is the issue of duplication of projects. Honorable Speaker, like on the roads projects, you have projects, some of them, when you go to the ground, some of the projects, the carer says they have done them. That is a national outfit. The counties are also saying, claiming they have done those roads. And Honorable Speaker, that is what really should concern this Senate, that as we have proved budgets, and when they go down, who really implements these projects? We have roads around. Why should we have one road being claimed by two entities, Honorable Speaker? And so, Honorable Speaker, that is really what would really concern me. When you come to the branding of the vehicles, Honorable Speaker, traditionally we have grown in this country and we have always known that the red number plate shows it is a mission vehicle. The green number plates in the last few years is an indication that is a county government vehicle that was formerly owned by the county councils. We have the blue number plate with implying it is a vehicle belonging to a parastatal. And Honorable Speaker, that is only for identity and for ease of picking which vehicle this is. It is really not meant to make them look like personal issues. Honorable Speaker, even these projects, we need to tell the world, and Kenyans must know, and everybody that holds offices, whether they are governors, MCAs, or even senators here and members of parliament, that these seats come and go. And Honorable Speaker, even the governors as they sit there, the longest you could take is 10 years and you will go. But we want the projects to remain, and that is why we support devolution. Honorable Speaker, this morning on a national TV, I saw one of us talk about the issues that are ongoing in this county, the issues of protests. Honorable Speaker, I'm bringing in this because it ties to devolution at some point. And the honorable member, while talking on national TV, made a very, very misleading statement that Raila used to own protest. And those were the specific words that one leader mentioned on a national TV. And Honorable Speaker, this leader, I'm surprised, mentioned Raila's name so many times in the course of their presentation, even more than he mentioned his leader, who is the Lord of shares, Honorable Speaker. And the statement the leader made on record, on national TV, on Citizen, is that in the yesteryears, Raila used to own protest. And I keep on asking myself, and I wondered, are these protests a contest? Is there a competition of who has done protest more than the other? Are we competing on whose protests are more magnanimous and which protests have caused the major damage? I want to state here, Honorable Speaker, that whoever made that statement, if you are competing with one Raila Amolo Odinga, then you are not a good student of history. Because the protests that Raila led were protests that had purposes. One of them, Honorable Speaker, is that the initiatives that one Raila Amolo Odinga has made in this country has brought multi-party. The second is that the same initiatives that one Raila Amolo Odinga made is what led to devolution. And I was surprised that the statement was being made by a senator who is a beneficiary of devolution, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I then ask myself, what is then the goal that you have for the protest that you now think you have succeeded and exceeded the protest that Raila Amolo Odinga made? What is your purpose? Honorable Speaker, let me come back to his thinking. If he thought the protest that Raila led to something like the handshake, then it had a purpose. If he thought that the protests Raila led to a broad base, then he had a purpose. And that is why Raila is of late calling for the conclave. I'm happy that one Raila Amolo Odinga has mentioned and is on record saying that when you say Ruto must go, Raila asks, go where? But I'm happy the same people have come to the same thinking. And they are saying that Ruto, the president, should now stay up to 2027. And so it means that is all what we have been saying. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this because the devolution we are talking about, it is Raila Amolo Odinga that has supported and initiated. But Honorable Speaker, when we come to this process, I can see my colleague is signaling me that he needs some time. But I want to say that I have 20 minutes and I will use it successfully up to the end of the 20 minutes. Honorable Speaker, I also had a video that is documented when a honorable leader in this country wishes Raila death. I want to say shame on you. Shame on you 10 times.
Senator Beatrice.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
I want to remind you of the provisions of Standing Order 120 so that you confine your contributions to the motion that is before the House, and in reference to a specific issue like what you have said, make it to be within the relevance of the motion that we have, so that we utilize appropriately this standing order as well as the time of the House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm guided. Honorable Speaker, what I was saying is, why should a leader wish a magnanimous leader as Raila Amolo Odinga or anybody death? Honorable Speaker, may I relate to you a story as I wind up? One time we had a by-election in Homa Bay County, and one leader indicated that one of the contestants was an old man that would take people to a by-election soon. Honorable Speaker, I want to tell you that the next day, we lost that same person who made that allegation. And that old man he was referring to, 7 years to date, is still alive. So life is a matter of, is on God, and it is God that gives life. Honorable Speaker, as I wind up, I want to tell our leaders that let us be responsive. We only have one country that we all have a duty to protect. We only have one country, and we must lead by example. Honorable Speaker, I support this petition, and I want to laud the petitioner, and I want to say that Kenya is indeed a democratic country that gives everybody space to bring their issues up, and I want to say that I support. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I leave my minutes because my colleague really needs to make some point. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Murango James Kamau.
Asante sana Mr. Speaker kwa kunipa hii nafasi ili niweze kuongea na niweze pia kuunga mkono matamshi ambayo wenzangu wametoa leo kuhusu mchakato mzima huu naombi ambao limeletwa mbele ya Seneti, kuhusu maandishi ambayo yanaandikwa na baadhi ya magavana wanapojenga barabara, wanapojenga choo na wanapojenga vitu vingine. Akushangaza Mr. Speaker ni kwamba hawa magavana wanapojenga makafani, kwa kimombo mortuary, haweki picha zao. Na sijui kama ni certifier kwa wote ama inakuwa kwa kusundi, kwa sababu kama maendeleo. Na kwa hivyo Mr. Speaker, utakuja kupata ya kwamba na sio magavana peke yake, hata pia tunasema wabunge wa bunge la kitaifa, unapata barabara inapojengwa, ile kibao ambacho kinawekwa katika ile barabara ama kitu chochote ambacho kimefanyika ni kubwa na dhamani yake ni kubwa sana kushinda zile fedha zimetumika katika kufanya ile maendeleo ambayo iko pale. Na kwa hivyo Mr. Speaker, ninapopita hapa nikija katika bunge la Seneti, kuna bendera nyingi za kaunti zote 47 na zote kila bendera iko na alama, iko na nembo ya kaunti zote 47. Na kwa hivyo kama ni kutofautisha, ni rahisi sana kutumia zile nembo ambazo zimepitishwa katika mbunge la gatuzi kama alama ya maendeleo ambayo wanafanya katika gatuzi zetu Mr. Speaker. Lakini Mr. Speaker, kuna baraza na magavana. Magavana wote wanafanana, ni binadamu, wengi wanaongea pamoja. Na kwa hivyo nitasema kwamba hatuwezi kuchinja mbata kwa kosa la kuharisha. Mbata wote huharisha Mr. Speaker. Tunachofaa kufanya sisi wenyewe ni kutunga sheria Mr. Speaker. Tunapomlaumu Ndombi kwa kosa la kutakasa kanisi na weusi ni rangi yake, nadhani tutakuwa tunaongea lakini hakuna kitu tunafanya. Sisi kama bunge la Seneti ndio tunafaa kukaa chini na kutunga sheria na kuhakikisha ya kwamba gatuzi zetu zote haziweki picha za mtu binafsi kwa sababu amefanya maendeleo ambayo anafaa kufanya. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, gavana anapotumia fedha za umma anaweka kibandiko kikubwa kinagharimu pesa mingi kuonyesha kwamba amefanya kazi, ni sawa sawa tu na kuzawadi samaki kwa sababu ameogelea. Na tunajua kwamba samaki wote ni kawaida yake kuogelea. Na wale ambao tunapitisha fedha hapa, kwa wakati wetu tunautumia hapa, tunatoa kijasho hapa na damu kupitisha zile fedha. Kama saa hii tumeng'ang'ana, kumekuwa na kamati ya uwiano ili kuhakikisha kwamba mangavana wamepata bilioni 415. Ningekuuliza mstahiki Spika, na mimi kama mtindo ni wa kuweka pesa zinapoenda katika gatuzi, na sisi picha zetu taziweka wapi? Ama zitabaki tu kwa viromba na mikoba? Kwa sababu sisi tunapitisha pesa, hatujapewa uwezo wa kikatiba kwenda kukaa pale na kubadilika picha zetu. Mstahiki Spika, ningependa pia niwaambia kwamba hii seneti tunaongeanga lakini hatusikizwi. Lakini mstahiki Spika, umuhimu wa makalio hujulikana wakati umemea jipu. Wale mangavana wakati wanapopata shida ndo wanajuanga seneti iko. Lakini saa hii tunapopitisha pesa, wakati tunaongea mambo ambayo hayafai, kuliko tukae chini tuvalie juga jambo hili na kusikizana ya kwamba kuna mambo ambayo si mazuri kufanya katika gatuzi zetu, bado sisi wanatuchukulia tu kama mbwege. Lakini siku inafika wakati watakuja kuingia 18 zetu, na ndipo unaona wengi wakiliwa wanapigwa swaga, mstahiki Spika, kwa sababu maneno ambayo tunaongea hapa na wakati tunaotumia unafaa kuwa unasikizwa. Lakini sisi kawaida, nilisema hapo kitambo, sisi ni kama machini ambayo inabomoa misitu. Ukijenga barabara unasemekana yeye wako juu ya road, usiharibu barabara. Na tumeamini, tumesema iwe hivyo. Lakini tunafaa jambo kama hili tulizingatie, tuliongelelee, na hata kama ni kupitisha pesa, kwanza tuangalie wale kama kuna pesa zinatumika vibaya. Ukiangalia ripoti ambayo ni ya mkaguzi wa hesabu, mstahiki Spika, na mimi ninasema kwamba siwapi magavana wosia, najua mimi sio mnasibu, lakini ninaongea hapa najua wale walionituma hapa pia wanasema hivyo hivyo. Utapata ya kwamba fedha nyingi zinazopotea ni kwa mabango ambayo inawekwa picha. Mimi nikiona picha ya gavana imewekwa katika mbango, kuna kitu moja inanikumbusha ya mstahiki Spika, kwamba katika nduka wakati unataka kuua mbu, utapata kuna dawa inaitwa Doom kwa kimombo. Inakuanga imechorwa mbu, inaenda kuua mbu, haikuangi na manufaa kwa mbu. Hivyo vibango ambazo zinawekwa na mangavana katika maendeleo ambayo inafanywa mwananchi na pesa ya umma, haikuangi inamaanisha kuna mambo mazuri, mambo yote mazuri inafanyika kwa katika katu zetu, mstahiki Spika. Lakini gavana anapoletwa hapa, kwa sababu afuati tunayosema, ashajua kwamba dunia ni gunia, tofauti ni herufi moja, ndio unaanza kusikia akilia, unaonewa, unafanywa hivi. Mstahiki Spika, na ndio wakati mwingi katika maombi yangu, kwa sababu mimi ni mlokole, kwa sababu naamini ya kwamba sijafanya mambo mengi mazuri kuwa malaika, lakini pia naamini ya kwamba sijakosea sana kuwa ibilisi. Naambianga Mungu atuepushe na mbangi na viromba za ugoro, kwa sababu maneno ambayo inafanywa wakati mwingine na viongozi ni maneno ambayo hata wewe huwezi fikiria. Unapita katika shendi za mbonda katika mali nimetoka gatuzi zangu, kitu ya kwanza kuona ni picha kubwa ya gavana. Mstahiki Spika, bila kupoteza wakati, najua kuna mwenzangu anataka kuongea, ningependa kuanjuza wale wananchi ambao wako gatuzi, niwaambia kwamba ukiona mbango limewekwa mahali, hiyo ni kumbukumbu ama unakumbushwa kwamba kuna kitu imeimbiwa. Mstahiki Spika, hebu nipeane falsafa moja ya mbweha na simba. Wakati mmoja, mstahiki Spika, simba alimshika mbweha na akamwambia nitakukula kama utaniletea kitu kingine ya kula. Mbweha akasema nitakuletea, tena sio saizi yangu, nitakuletea kitu kinono na kikubwa ambao utakula siku 2-3. Akaenda kwa punda, akamwelezea punda ya kwamba simba na wanyama wote kwa msitu wamekubaliana kwamba huku polini wewe ndo kiongozi, na kwa hivyo unaitwa na simba. Alipofika kwa simba, kitu ya kwanza simba alifanya ni kumrukia, akamng'ata mkia. Mkia ikakatika, punda akakimbia akipiga mayowe. Akafatwa na mbweha, akaambiwa, wewe kwani wewe mjinga, wewe baradhuri, mbona unakimbia? Simba amemkukata mkia ili uweze ukalia katika kiti ya enzi. Huwezi kalia na mkia. Ndio simba akakukata mkia. Punda akarudi na upumbavu wake kwa simba. Simba akamrukia mara ya pili, akamkata masikio. Akatoroka tena kwa mayowe. Akafuatwa na mbweha. Mbweha akamuuliza, wewe njua? Wewe mjinga? Ujui simba amekukata masikio ili ile kofia ya enzi iweze kutoshea katika kichwa yako? Kwa nini unakimbia? Mwishowe wakati alirudi akaliwa na simba. Simba akamwambia mbweha, sasa kwa sababu umefanya kazi yako, nenda kamchinje. Alafu unilete maini, moyo na akili yake nikule. Mbweha alipoenda kuchinja punda, akakula akili yote, akaleta maini na roho kwa simba. Simba akamuuliza, mbona umeleta tu maini na roho, wapi akili? Mbweha alimuuliza, wewe mfalme, huyu punda ana akili? Unaona wewe alikuwa na akili yote wewe? Kama angekuwa na akili ndani ya kichwa yake, angerudi mara mbili, umkate masikio, umngate mkia na arudi tena hapa. Kwa hivyo nasema ya kwamba kuna mambo ambayo watu wanaambiwa, na wengi wanapiga makofi katika watu zetu kwa sababu wanaona kama kazi imefanyika. Lakini Mr. Speaker, hiyo watu wanabebwa na kuchukuliwa kirahisi kama bei ya chumvi. Nikimalizia Mr. Speaker, hebu niongee kidogo kuhusu sheria ambazo zinatoka mahali pengine na kuja ukiniruhusu, kwa sababu nadhani zinaambatana. Mr. Speaker, tunafaa saa hii tuwe waangalifu wakati pia tunapitisha sheria, iwe ya gavana ama ni sheria yote ile. Mr. Speaker, sheria zingine sasa mtu akiziangalia, mtu unaanza kuweweseka, nywele shingoni zinaanza kuniamuka, kwa sababu ukiangalia wakati sheria tunapopitisha venye zinaenda kutumika, lazima iwe sambu tumelifanya. Kwa nini nasema hivyo Mr. Speaker? Sheria zinapokuja hapa ni kama msumeno. Msumeno ukata mbele na nyuma, Mr. Speaker. Na kwa hivyo wakati tunapitisha sheria ni kwamba tunatia ukali katika msumeno. Na sahau kwamba ule msumeno siku moja huenda ukaja kukata msitu tunaojificha kama viongozi, tuachwe tukiwa tukiwa tunaonekana uchi na kila mtu. Mr. Speaker, hapo awali mwaka 2012 kuna sheria ilipitishwa ambayo ilikuwa inaitwa POTA. Kwa kimombo ni Prevention of Terrorism Act. Mimi sikuwa katika mbunge hili. Na kuna zingine zitaendelea kuja. Na kuna zingine najua shafika hapa. Zile sheria lazima tujue ya kwamba tunazopitisha na mali zinaenda kutumika, zitatumika zinavyofaa kufanywa. Kwa sababu Mr. Speaker, leo nimetoka mahali ambapo kuko na watoto 11 ambao kwa chini ya miaka 17. Na jaji ameamua kwamba anafaa kuachiliwa, lakini wamewekwa pamoja na watu wazima. Sheria ambazo zinafaa kufuatwa ambazo ni rahisi zinatutia aibu. Unashikuja kushangaa hata mwenye kutuma watoto wadogo katika pamoja na watu wazima. Kwani hajui kwamba kuna sheria kuhusu watoto? Mr. Speaker. Kwa hivyo ningesema ya kwamba ni vizuri tuangalie tunapopitisha sheria hata kama tunasema situngwe. Nikimalizia Mr. Speaker, kipovu anapoanza kuona, kitu cha kwanza kutupa ni ule mkongojo ambao ameutumia kwa miaka mingi wakati alikuwa aoni. Na mimi ninasema kwamba tunapofanya kitu ya maana kama kupitisha fedha, maridhiano imefika, kitu ya kwanza kutemwa ni sisi maseneta. Lakini kwa nini sisi tunatemwa? Tumepewa kila kitu. Kweli kumbweka tunambweka vilivyo. Lakini swali ni lini tutaanza kuuma? Hiyo ndio swali kubwa Mr. Speaker. Kwa sababu leo tunaongelea hili, tutanjadili lile. Na lile nakwambia mwishowe tutakuja kuona bado mangavana, hata ukienda nyumbani mahali utakuja unapata tu picha za mangavana kila mahali. Lakini nimeuliza swali hapo awali, kama maendeleo ni maendeleo, kwa sababu kuku ni kuku, jogoni jina, kwa nini haweki picha zao katika makafani, katika mochari kwa kimombo? Kwa nini haweki picha zao huko? Watachagua tu mahali wamejenga ndaranja, mahali wamejenga mbarambara na zingine. Mr. Speaker, ujue barabara inapowekwa kutengenezwa mwaka huu na kuwekwa hiyo kimbandiko kikubwa ambacho inawekwa siku ya leo, mwaka ujao ikiharibika hawakuji kuweka picha zao kwa ile kimbandiko waliweka hapo awali. wanaweka ingine ya pili pale pale. Sasa inaona kuna ubadhirifu na tunapoteza fedha nyingi sana, Mr. Speaker. Kwa hivyo ningeomba mangavana, kama ni lazima uweke picha zako, weka kwako nyumbani, huko ndio muhimu, kwa sababu utendakazi wa serikali kuu na ugatuzi si mapenzi. Kama picha unataka kuweka, weka kwa WhatsApp, ama umtumie, uende uzitume kwa mtu ambaye anakupenda. Na sijui nani aliambia mangavana kwamba baadhi yao kweli wako na sura nzuri, lakini kuna wengine pia wako na sura nzito na wanarashimisha pia kuweka picha zao katika miradi ambayo hafai kuonekana. Kuna mmoja Mr. Speaker ako na sura nzito kama ile uji napewa na wake wa matane. Unapata alijenga shule ya chekechea na picha imewekwa mlangoni, kuliko kufanya watoto wanje watoto wanatoroka. Sasa umuhimu wa hizo picha zote, Mr. Speaker, ni nini? Kwa hivyo nitamalizia hapo ili wenzangu waweze kuongea. Naona Senator Miriam ananiambia wakati huko karibu kuishi, kwa hivyo Mr. Speaker nitaachia hapo ili wenzangu waweze kuongea. Asante sana Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mariam Sheikh Omar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I also support this report from Devolution Committee on the concerned petition concerning the branding of the public projects with the image of the governors and the member of the county assembly and the branding of their vehicles. Mr. Speaker, this issue of branding of the project, Mr. Speaker, it is personalizing the project public resources, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the prayer of the petition is the amendment of the county government constitution, that is 2010, about restraining of the no branding of the projects, the county projects, and the vehicle branding, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I personally have seen duplication of the projects by different state corporations. Mr. Speaker, there is a project of water project which has been done by three people, Mr. Speaker. One of them, it was done by ADB, later on done by Member of Parliament, later on done by, again, the State Corporation Water Service Board. Mr. Speaker, to me, for this, Mr. Speaker, when the projects, so many projects are done in Kenya by different agencies. There's a project done by ADB, World Bank, UNICEF, Mr. Speaker, and there's nothing of the pictures, the flags of any government of ADB or World Bank, which is branded on that project, Mr. Speaker. Then why is the Member of Parliament or the MCA or the governor, and this is the government public resources, showing that this is the project done by so-and-so and it has a picture? Mr. Speaker, we don't allow that, because this is a project which is beneficial to each person. If you put individual pictures there, Mr. Speaker, it may restrain that this project is meant for one community and another community in a different scenario, in a political line, Mr. Speaker. And also it helps in a political campaign for individual political party, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in this branding of the vehicle, Mr. Speaker, the number plates of the government vehicles has a different, is different from private owned vehicle, Mr. Speaker. If we restrict ourselves on this number plates of the registration of the vehicle number, it is enough instead of putting an individual picture of the governor, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a senators, we have fights for devolution to work, and devolution is working, Mr. Speaker. And in the end, I am also a member of Finance Department, and we have fight with our chair that we raise their shareable figure to 415, Mr. Speaker. So that means if we have added figure for them, does it mean they have to personalize the project they are doing? So in this case, Mr. Speaker, we have to, the ACCA, EAC, and the Auditor General, and also Controller of Budgets, collaborate, three of them, the three officers, to collaborate and also investigate on this, so that the integrity and the accountability of each office holders can be done, Mr. Speaker, so that this branding cannot be done for the vehicle and for the project, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to this shareable figure of the equitable share, Mr. Speaker, the governors are saying these are flagship projects for him or her, Mr. Speaker. That show that is individually, he or she has personalized the projects and end up putting their pictures and their brand. Mr. Speaker, let them not concern, when they are doing also this branding, Mr. Speaker, they are using public fund. That is a wastage of public fund, public resources, and that is, there is no materiality of the branding, Mr. Speaker. There is no money value on that line of branding, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have had so many members adding on this, and everything has been said, Mr. Speaker, but I support, and the prayers of the petitioner must be done, and the recommendation of the committees, they have strictly said there is amendments should be done, Mr. Speaker. This, when we pass as a house this resolution, the county government, that is the county government amendment of the constitution of the county government, must be fast-tracked and done quickly, so that this branding cannot be taking place within this, before the end of this term, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with that, or a few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Senator Mariam. Lastly, Senator Mohammed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to support this motion. Being a member of the Devolution Committee, I also want to congratulate Mr. Laban Omusundi. Honorable Speaker, Laban Omusundi came before our committee. I don't think this is the first time. I've seen him bringing issues to the Senate on several occasions. Honorable Speaker, Laban Omusundi is just a local person trying to help this country on his own way, using his money, transport to come to Nairobi, to buy food, place to sleep. And this is what we must encourage, because this person of the name Laban Omusundi is using his own resources to try and help this country. Honorable Speaker, the issues he brought before our committee is something very fundamental. He was asking a politician uses money, not from his pocket, paid by taxpayers' money, to even travel, to eat, and to come and represent his people in Parliament using taxpayers' money. And our recommendation as a committee is branding projects, vehicles, or any institution is wrong and unethical, Honorable Speaker. People build toilets, even counties, and they put pictures of MCS, toilets. You can find photos, pictures, and boards being erected, and the names are there for MCS or members of parliament or even governors. Honorable Speaker, I live in Karen. The road to Karen, where I live, is a road called Korongo Road. Apparently, Honorable Speaker, surprisingly, there is a board on the right side of the road, just as you enter Korongo Road. It's a rough road. That name, the MCS name, has been there maybe for the last 5-6 years. And if you see that road today, I brought a statement to this committee. That road is impassable. Honorable Speaker, it is quite absurd to see an MCA putting his name, his photo, and that of the governor on that road, claiming that this road is being built by the county of Nairobi, and the photos are there. This is misleading, this is wrong, and this is unethical. In that committee, Honorable Speaker, displaying project name and photos, pictures, and the date of completion and date of commencement is there. And if you look at that Korongo Road today, commencement date has elapsed 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And the road is not constructed up to today. Honorable Speaker, you know, somebody was talking about Morara, and I've been watching his programs when he goes out there. Honorable Speaker, there was a time the president was in Mombasa, someplace in Mombasa, and he said, this project has started and it's ongoing. After a few days, I saw Morara standing in the same place, claiming that this is what the president said, and this project, there is nothing ongoing. Honorable Speaker, I know the president, he doesn't want to lie. He's trying his best to see how this country will move forward. He has got a vision, but the problem is there are people who are misleading him. In some instances, Honorable Speaker, you will find that the project has been initiated by even the former president, President Uhuru Kenyatta. And if you go there today, placards are there. The same road, nothing is happening. Honorable Speaker, you know, this Omusundi guy, I really, really would like to see one day this government should recognize this kind of a people. This man is bringing issues today. We are discussing in the Senate. And we have been going through, he came before our committee. We've had a discussion. And he came even before the Roads Committee, bringing issues. And I asked him, one time I asked him, who is funding you? He says, no, we have a group of people, but we are not getting anything from anywhere. So, Honorable Speaker, I think it is high time, as a country, we need to have an oversight body, a body that can be constituted by the President, that will look at issues being handled by the national government, their county government, and even the CDF programs, so that duplication of project should not be there. Honorable Speaker, I remember one time in Wajir, someplace in Wajir, the CDF did some work there. And then another organization, I think one of the parastatals, did, it's a pan. They wanted to do that pan in a place in Wajir. And then the MP then went there to inspect the project. He saw, he was told that this pan is here. Then he asked, where? Here, where? So he was told, where you are standing is where the pan is. He was standing in the pan. And then he asked them, please, don't tell me this pan is here where I'm standing, because there is no pan here. And the same pan, Honorable Speaker, was being claimed by two people, an organization, a parastatal, and CDF. That's why I was saying a committee should be instituted to look at the projects, all government projects, the projects that are being run or managed by the national government, the county government, and the CDF comes from taxpayers' money. So, if you have a team that can look at what has been done by the national government through a financial year, then the county government, and even the CDF, and also donor funding, so that duplication should not be there. Why do we have duplication, Honorable Speaker? We have duplication because somebody, somewhere, wants to steal money from the people of Kenya. And Omusundi is just saying, please, these are things that are supposed to be done by politicians. Then Omusundi comes and says, politicians, let me help you here. Don't brand vehicles. Don't brand projects. And I want to thank the committee I'm also in for bringing a very good proposal. And this proposal is going to help this parliament, the Senate, to pass this motion. Honorable Speaker, there is this issue about EACC. Some people have talked here before. If you can remember, I talked about EACC having problems. But today, the person who is in charge, Mr. Abdi, is now, I think, capable. Definitely he's listening to what the Senate is saying. And I believe that Abdi will take charge. And I hope that he's going to bring sense to EACC, and reputation of EACC will be now respected. Again, having said that, Honorable Speaker, interference from other sources are also giving problems of investigating and managing EACC. So interferences also should stop from any quarter, Honorable Speaker. The petitioner's prayers were asking us to amend the County Government Act 2012. And he's asking members of the County Assembly stop branding or putting their portraits, images, or names of public funded projects on the names of public funded projects. And I support that, Honorable Speaker. And he was talking about funding. The funded projects should be branded as courtesy of taxpayers' money of Kenya. I don't think that is very important, because if there is any project and this project is branded as constructed, built by the national government, that one is enough to show that it's being done by the taxpayers' money of Kenya.
Display of information, Honorable Speaker, is very, very important. And if possible, any project that has been completed should be openly displayed, and the information on the display should show that this project was initiated on this and this date, on this and this month, and then this and this year, by which institution, and even project amount and completion date. Honorable Speaker, that way, I think and believe that the issue of duplication should not be there. Honorable Speaker, when I talked about having, and I sincerely would want the President, if possible, because he has initiated many projects, and the follow-up should be there, and the President should be having on his fingertips, as he usually has been having, to know that what project this year the government, national government has initiated, and the completion date, and also the county government, and even the CDF. Honorable Speaker, sometimes I don't even understand. The monies that goes to the county are monies contribution mainly over 90% from the taxpayers' money. Sometimes it is like this is not money from the taxpayers. You might even think this money is the governor's money, his own pocket, from his own pocket. Sometimes people forget that this money belongs to the people of Kenya. You cannot just use the way you want. You put your name there, you put placards there, you put your friend's name, you know. That is not possible, Honorable Speaker. So having said that, Honorable Speaker, I want to give my friend, a very good friend, Karen, to also contribute on this. I want to take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to support this motion. And I will ask Karen also to support this motion, because I think she is going to be something in
Nairobi, either a governor or a senator or a woman rep, I pray for her and I will give her my support. We have about 50,000 people, voters from Marsabit County, and we will try and see if he speaks well today. You will see if you can get that support. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. I support this motion.
Thank you, Senator Chute. Just wanted to remind you that it's the chair that grants any member of the House the opportunity to speak. You cannot thus claim that you will give Senator Karen Nyamu the opportunity to speak. And so with that, Senator Nyamu, I bet you are the last person to contribute to this motion. Kindly take the mic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You know, it's interesting that Senator Chute doesn't support branding by governors of public projects, but he's standing here to give conditions that if I speak well and if I support this report from his committee, he's going to speak to the Marsabit people to support me. He said 50,000 voters in Nairobi from Marsabit. He's going to speak to them to support me in my bid for woman rep in Nairobi. And that is also undue influence in giving me conditions in my work. Mr. Speaker, to my point, such reports, Mr. Speaker, are some of the reasons we exist as a House. This practice of branding public projects with personal images and personal effects has gone on for some time, for as long as I can remember. And it is not being practiced by governors only. It is being practiced by MCAs, because we know they have ward development funds across their wards. We also have the MPs in the National Assembly who have projects under the national government CDF, who also brand these projects with their images, Mr. Speaker. This really infringes in the non-partisan nature of government projects as they are, because government projects and public works are non-partisan, and they do not have to align with a sitting leader, in this case a sitting governor, because what that does, it alienates the people who do not identify with that particular leader, those who think because they did not vote for him and his image is there, it alienates them from that particular project, which should be owned, which should create a sense of ownership across board, Mr. Speaker. Public funds should not be politicized, and we all know the kind of manipulation having your image on a project shows. It can be used for campaign. It can be used to measure your success. Yet, most of the time, you have nothing to do with the project. It is probably a projection that the county had done even before you got the seat, for example, and now you're taking all the credit as a governor to manipulate voters. You can even time it. You can delay a project and make sure you time it just before elections, because you know you're going to brand it your image and it's going to give you an undue advantage and an unfair advantage on the political competition, Mr. Speaker. And I know I'm the last speaker to speak on this, and so, well, we don't have the latitude of time, but I want to congratulate this committee for such a progressive report, and for the House for you almost unanimously supporting it. And these are the kind of changes that the people on the ground expect us to make. Because what, in effect, we are doing is we are leveling the playing ground between incumbents and incoming leaders, and what that does for our political landscape, Mr. Speaker, is tremendous. It goes a long way, Mr. Speaker, and the effects will be felt everywhere. And with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support, and I'm waiting for Chute to do what he said he would do when I support. Thank you.
Now, honorable members, there being no other member to contribute to this motion. Senator Chute, you are a member of this particular committee. I do not know whether you are ready to do a reply to the motion. Please proceed to do it on behalf of the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Devolution
and in the governmental relations.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first of all, let me take this opportunity to beg to reply to this motion, and similarly thank the members who have contributed today, starting with the chairperson, of course, Honorable Speaker, Senator Kisang, who also seconded this motion, Honorable Aaron Choriot, Honorable Agnes Kivindu, Honorable Samson Cherarkei, Honorable Edwin Sifuna, Honorable Wakili Sigei, Honorable Enoch Ambua, Honorable Tabitha Mutinda, Honorable Catherine Muma, Honorable Karungu Tangwa, Honorable Beatrice Akinyi, Honorable James Morango, Honorable Senator Marian Sheikh, and Honorable Senator Karen Nyam. Honorable Speaker, I would also want to take this opportunity to thank the chair and the members of the Devolution Committee. They've done very, very good work. They've invited many people. And I want also to thank, on behalf of the committee, to thank the members who contributed, and those who have not contributed also to thank them for giving us a moral support. Honorable Speaker, because of time, I think we cannot be having enough time to deal with this matter. And Honorable Speaker, I request if we can defer this putting the question to a later date. This is pursuant to Standing Order 66.3. With your request, I would ask to defer until the next time, Honorable Speaker. And let me thank you immensely also for the opportunity. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the committee I sit in, Asante Sana.
Pursuant to Standing Order 66.3, the putting of the question is deferred to the next sitting of the House. Now, honorable senators, we will go back to the order paper of the day, and having concluded debate on standing order, order number 12, order number 10, 11, order number 13, order number 14, all the way to order
number 22 are hereby deferred to the next sitting of the House. And honorable members, we may now rise.
honorable senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 15th of July, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.